I haven't changed at all just because I went to Europe a little bit. I haven't changed. I'm the same guy.
Look at your hat, Alex. You're wearing a bowler cap right now. You're wearing a bowler.
Jake, I'm the same.
Is that what it's called, by the way? A bowler cap, right? Am I saying it right? I don't want to offend you.
No, it's called a peaky blinder. It's a peaky blinder. Oh. This is the blinder.
Yeah, you got blade. You have a blade in there. I'm gonna keep this. This is gonna be the opening. This is gonna be the opening.
I'm the same guy.
You're the same guy. Welcome to Going Yard. We're back, baby. We're the same as we've always been.
Just a couple weeks.
Man.
Jake had a honey.
Yeah.
Woo.
A little honey action. I was dipping in a honey. Alex is a world traveler. It was funny. We were trying to text and call. It was like, we were talking about doing a little pod action, but what was it, 12-hour difference, I want to say?
We sure Hawaii were. You were in Hawaii to, it was Italy.
You were Florence?
I was in Florence for one day, and then prior to that, Lucca. So right in the middle, right by Pisa. The tower that is not exactly straight. It's not exactly straight. It's leaning a little bit.
You're leaning against it. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fun. Very fun. All right. I mean, we were going to do it, but I feel like now, the last official episode we had was probably 2.5 weeks ago, give or take. So
I think so.
We got a little catch up.
Yeah.
A little bit of catch up action. I think as we get into it, I think the game plan here is we'll kind of catch up a little bit here at the top, get a little sense of our watching experiences while we were away and what we were doing. And then we could kind of dive into this most recent week. We'll have to punt on the week before. And then at the end, I think we close it out with some travel highlights here. I think that'll be kind of the move.
And I think there'll be a little intermixing here. I mean, I'll give a little tease here. Couple episodes. If you're a loyal listener, you've heard our idea about maybe we're GMs for a new expansion team in London. So there might be some crossover between our travels and some NFL stuff,
And we do have to bring up, God bless, AJ came in clutch with some great suggestions. In the soft launch period, we were throwing out some ideas, and he gave some ideas for our team and what it should be and the kind of the theme of it. So we'll dive into that. But yeah, man. So did you get to watch any football abroad, or was it just kind of you caught it here and there, or what happened?
So I have a couple different things. So I did get to watch some NFL football. I watched some NFL football. Got to make the distinction.
I hate that you're specifying now. Now you have to spend
We have international.
I hate it already.
We have international listeners probably now.
Yeah,
we don't.
That's right.
No, we don't. The time is crazy. Remember we were talking about, I love the West Coast time versus the East Coast time is pretty tough.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'll tell you what's tough. You know what's tough? Is a Europe start. Start.
Kickoff.
Kickoffs started, I think the earliest game where I was thankful for the Berlin starts and the London and Wembley starts, because those start over there probably around 2:30 around that time for the 9:30 kickoff for
usual kickoff.
Yeah. And then I think I watched an Eagles game. This is the most egregious. They played the Packers, and that was Sunday Night Football. So it was a primetime game.
Yep.
So that is, if I'm getting my time zones right, East Coast, it was an 8:30 start, or 8:20, I believe. On the West Coast, that was going to be a 5:20 for you, right? So 5:20 on the West Coast. And then for me, it was 2:20. Started the game at 2:20 a.m. on Tuesday. I would look at the Bleacher Report to see, and all the days were a little bit over because the late games were the following day. So the Sunday night game was Monday at 1 a.m. and they all started.
My God.
And I tried to watch.
Were you a sicko? Did you wake up at 2 a.m.?
Jake?
Oh.
For only the Eagles game. Only the Eagles game.
Okay. Oh, only the Eagles game.
I'm a sicko. And what a game. Couldn't miss that barn burner, huh?
Oh,
that Eagles, Packers. What was it? 10 to 6, or no, it was
7.
13-7 or something.
Yeah, yeah. It was followed up. I mean, both weeks have been just Eagles throwing it in the mud, just mud
The
mud
defense
fights.
is great. We'll talk about the
Yeah.
Eagles, but as far as viewing experience, it was a nightmare. And also, I have a huge gripe with the contract disputes. With Disney and ESPN, and then also with the primetime games. I pay for Sunday NFL ticket, and I had to use a VPN to watch it because it wasn't in the same location. I couldn't be where I was watching it. So I had to use a VPN, had to set up VPN. And that's a shout out to our sponsor, NordVPN.
NordVPN. Watch anywhere, anytime. They don't know where you are. You can't find them, but we'll find you. NordVPN.
So it was
very fun. Very fun.
Tough. I mean, what was it like in Hawaii? It was probably actually quite nice in Hawaii to watch. Did you watch on the honeymoon? Did you get away with that?
Alex, a couple of things. I feel bad because I'm gonna go the other way here. I might have peaked, and I might have had. I have a new way of watching NFL now. I think the best way to do it. Our flights were Sunday to Sunday for the honeymoon, went to Hawaii. I end up flying. I get up in the air and I got the laptop out. I got the Kindle at one point. I'm messing around. I look over. Someone had in-flight Wi-Fi and they had their Sunday ticket. I was like, oh my God, of course.
Yeah.
I plug in, so I'm charging, and I'm watching Red Zone as I fly to my honeymoon in Hawaii. It was nuts. I think I'll always fly on Sundays now because I'm always glued to the seat anyway, or I'm with friends watching it, and you're just kind of anchored watching this thing, and I might as well be traveling. It feels like I'm accomplishing something, Like it was incredible. We got up early. We got a Starbucks at the airport. We're there. We go in.
Paint the picture. What'd you get at Starbucks? What'd you get? What did you get? You get a pumpkin spice? What are you doing there? What did you have?
I did. I had a big fit. I had a big fit because it was November 2nd, and I was like, well, pumpkin spice is over. It's October's done, and Lisa was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like Thanksgiving, like the quintessential dessert is pumpkin pie. Like, what do you?
She's right. I was
like,
money.
okay, yeah.
It's like 2 months. It's like 2 months. Yeah,
I know. So I ended up rocking that. I got there, and then Alex, I say I peak because I'm in 4 fantasy football leagues, and I had highest score in all 4 leagues.
Jake, are you
never
kidding me?
done it. I've never done it, and 2 of the leagues pay out weekly, and it was just, I was on my way to my honeymoon. I'm watching in the air. T. Higgins is catching, this is 2 weeks ago, he's catching this incredible thing up the sideline. He's running. He's been disappointing all season, and he's coming through for me. It was, and then to make it even crazier, Alex, we get there. We're okay. Our flight, 5 hours. We go 5 hours. LA, we go into Hawaii.
How long was the flight, Jake? How long was the flight?
So it's a 5-hour flight, 5.5. But are you doing a bit? What? Oh, did I miss something? What did I miss? I missed something.
5 hours. It's 5 hours. How long? 5 hours. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm too rusty, Alex. It's been 2 weeks. We can't.
We're getting back into it. We're getting back into it.
I'm lost. But it ended up being longer, and the reason I'm so emphatic is because as we're going in, there's a small little thunderstorm around the island, and so the pilot we're landing, we're going down, and we start going through, and it's raining, and you could just see out the window to the wing of the plane, and the rain is just in the slipstream type thing, and we're going to land. And we're coming down. It's a little shaky. And then the pilot just pulls up and he pulls out of it. And then we're going back up. So then we're going back through, and he comes on over and he goes, yeah, it's a little bit wet out there. It's a short runway, and we don't want to risk it. So we're just we're gonna taxi a bit and see if we can land later. And I was like, uh, I I was like,
Great.
oh my god.
Nailed
So
the
some people
voice.
are kind of some yeah, thank you. Some people are kind of freaking out, but thank God, Alex, it was poetic. It was witching hour for NFL Red Zone. It was I was like, well, if I'm gonna I mean, this isn't the worst thing.
I was just gonna say, do you think you angered the football gods by winning too much? Do you think?
No,
Do you think?
I honestly, in retrospect, now that I know, like at one point we get up there, we're there. It ended up being an extra hour of us
You're
circling.
circling. Oh my! In the rain, like in the
Well, we got
storm.
above the clouds. We actually got out of the storm and went like around it. So it's so funny in the islands, like the storms. It's a beautiful day. They come, it pours like hell for like an hour. You can't see the sun. And then the next hour, it completely dissipates and it's a beautiful day again, which is I know it makes sense now why Hawaii always has like the rainbow in their
Mhm.
license plate or everything. It's because the water is constantly leaving and you always get the sunshine on it.
Right, right,
Um,
right.
but yeah, at one point the guy goes like, "We're gonna have to go to the Big Island. We're gonna have to stop at the Big Island, refuel, and then make our way back." And we were like, "Holy shit!" But luckily, it cleared up. And honestly, like at the end of like the games, the 4 o'clock games are ending. I pick up 2 hours as we're traveling, and then as we're landing, the games finish up. And then we got our rental car. We got to the hotel and I was able to even see some of the late game. But we kind of were like messing around with the hotel, doing that kind of stuff. But,
Wow.
um,
That's
oh my
that's
gosh, it was
terrifying, but
crazy.
also a lot there.
Yeah,
Terrifying. I mean, also congrats on 4. I have never had a week
I've
like
never done
that.
it. Yep,
That
I've
is
never.
and I'm in the opposite direction. I didn't know this at all because my teams are so bad. I stopped looking around the league. I'm just tunnel vision suffering. It's just suffering and looking at like what is the percentage of the playoffs? So I had no idea you were rocking it this hard. I knew you did
Dude.
really good with the burrowing, um, burying my own grave with that team.
Oh, that the team, yeah. That one I had, it's funny, in 3 of the 4 leagues, I've got Henderson, for the Patriots I
Oh, and
drafted,
you held on to
and
him.
he
You thought about
finally
dropping him. You thought.
dude, I dropped him in the family league. I dropped him, and then I picked him back up.
Oh,
Um,
oof.
it was one of those weeks where it was, like, there was injuries and bye weeks, and I was just like it was in the middle of the season. I was like, I can't justify keeping him. And then I dropped him. And then once the bye week settled, I got to pick him back up. But yeah, Jordan made a comment to me because he was in free agency and I was like, hey man, I need a running back. Can I get one of yours? He's like, well, I can pick up Henderson in free agency and then trade him to you. And I was like, well, I'll do that. And it's funny because it was before he broke out. It was before
Yeah.
um, so we had a fun laugh about that after. So anyway, really fun. I mean, the wedding was great. The honeymoon was great. We watched Jurassic Park the first night because it was filmed there. So that
Oh,
was fun.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun little thing there. But
Ah, that sounds great. I mean, that sounds amazing, and also kind of little terrifying on the way in there. I mean, that sounds pretty
yeah,
spooky.
yeah, it was pretty wild. It was pretty crazy. Really fun. I guess we could chat more too. I know we wanted to, because I want to hear about Italy, and I know you got a couple things here on the docket that I want to dive into. But
Sure do.
let's start. Let's start with our favorite segment, our only segment, the pick'ems. Alex, what do you think? What do you think you got on the last
I
week here?
think that as far as football goes, American football, um,
I hate this. I actually love it. I do love it. It's great.
as far as American football goes, Jake, I think I've hit a proverbial wall. I think that there is an invisible glass ceiling above me that
No.
I've hit. and
Okay.
I'm starting to see the end of the season before anybody. Now, I don't think I've had fantasy years as bad as I've had this year, collectively
Wow.
of all my teams, and it's excellent that we
Wow.
started a podcast during this about it. Um, and I think with the pick'ems, I think I'm in the same boat. I think this week is my wall.
Wow.
I
Okay.
think,
Well, it's out of 15, just so you know.
huh?
We got 15 little options for you, just so you know that.
Thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna guess, and this is last week. We missed the 1 week, so
Yes.
we've missed 2 total weeks. The first week, and now this last week with all the travels and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess that I got 6 out of the 15. I think 6
6
right.
out of the 15.
And no, you know
Okay.
what?
I'm gonna pull it up
5.
and
I'm gonna say 5. I'm gonna say 5.
oh, Alex, you hit 7. You hit 7.
Oh,
So I mean, you're
okay.
right there. Now,
Did you
I
hit?
do have
Oh
to
no.
well, I will say I was bad coming out of our time off here. I missed the
Oh,
Thursday,
you
and
omitted
then
2.
there
Yeah.
was I wasn't in Europe, so I missed the timing, the slot there.
Yeah.
Um, for the Miami Washington. So I did this at the very last second of the 10 a.m. slot for the West Coast here, that early slot. So I got some of them, but even if I did get those 2 right, you would have got me because I would have had 6 at
Mhm.
best. Which
Okay.
I think I probably would have gone with the favorites. But you say you got me this week, got me, and even better on the catch up here with me flubbing on the Thursday. But did you watch any of these? When did you get back? Did you watch this week at all?
Jake, I'm an absolute sicko. I watched a lot of different games, even while I was in Italy. And that's my dedication to this sport that has given me nothing in return. Um,
Love that.
no,
I
I watched
love
a lot of these. So the New England Jets one I didn't. That was a Thursday one. So I will say I did
Ah,
miss that one. I
oh
I
my god.
caught some of the Miami and Washington kind of just like the end of it. Um,
hmm
that
Now,
one, meh.
are you also getting the full complete media glazing of Drake May across the sea as well, or is that just a domestic thing that's happening?
That
Is
is
that
domestic, and that's probably
okay?
Bill Simmons heavy too. I'm guessing you're listening to some Bill Simmons there, or is it everywhere, you
No,
think?
it was actually the broadcast, the Amazon Prime broadcast. They a
Mm,
lot of, I guess, Tom Brady or Gronk. Gronk was being honored or something. Gronk signed like a
oh,
1 day contract to retire or something like that, and then it was a lot of like Tom Brady versus Drake May comparisons. Which that's where I'm just kind of like, guys, he's got the weakest schedule in the league, and he hasn't had a bye week, and they're
mhm.
putting up all his stats. They're all counting stats. They're not like per game, which is like that infuriates me. I feel like it's a trick to the common man. It's not, it's just it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's them
yeah.
just fitting a narrative, and they're like, he is fourth in passing yards, fourth in touchdown pass, and it's like, yeah, he played an extra game than most players. He's got the last bye week possible. Um, Anyway, I apologize. He is great. He's playing
But
well.
you're right.
I
He's got
just
a whole
hate the
game on people.
coverage.
Yeah, he's got a whole game on people, a game
Yeah.
advantage in those counting stats. And I, I'll say this about the Drake May stuff. People, I feel like, is putting him in great, safe, good positions. He's putting him in good positions
Yeah.
to succeed,
McDaniel too.
and the
Or
defense. Yeah,
yeah.
McDaniel. But the defense is good team, and I think Vrabel has really elevated the whole team.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I felt like the beginning, Drake May doesn't have to do a lot in order to succeed in the beginning of the year. I'm not taking away. I feel like he has progressed as a quarterback, and looked pretty good. But they're one of the teams that I feel like has eluded me in my red zone watching. I did. I was watching with our stepdad Spicer, And I think
Mhm.
too much red zone. It was too much for him, too much back and forth. So we just stuck
Yeah.
on one game, and I would
Mm.
check on my phone a lot.
Yeah.
The other games, and maybe I'd switch over during a commercial, old school, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
There you go.
and this is where I got. I don't know how you feel about watching a game old school. But I put it up in the notes here. It makes me so angry when they don't give enough time on the wide shot of the players before the can we get enough time on the wide shot so I can see where all the
Well,
defensive players are lined up?
I
You know what I
see.
mean?
I
I want
see.
to know
You're
where
right.
all the defensive players are lined up. What formation is it? Because they'll go into this close up of a coach or a disgruntled player that just fumbled. I I
Mhm.
don't care. Go to Twitter for that. You know what I mean? I don't I don't want to see that. Don't show me this poor guy. And I don't want to see the play caller. They always cover their mouth anyway. They don't want to be on the camera. Give me the wide shot. Quit getting artsy with it, Fox broadcast, because it feels like a film student that just learned about close-ups and they're doing a slow zoom. They're punching in on the guy as he's, shooting a snot rocket out of his nose because it's cold out there. And then it just seems like they're going to go into like a French noir after it, like with moody dialogue, because they're like, here's a wide receiver that's upset, here's a quarterback that's not giving them the ball. What will they? Won't they? Will they? Won't they? Show me the players on the field. I don't care about those guys. Show me the defense. I want to play high speed chess, and I want to see where all the pieces are lined up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like this is, Alex, this is where the sicko version, I could agree more, first off. And this is where the sicko that we each are
Yeah.
of like the schematics of it and wanting to know that. I feel like it doesn't appeal to just like the casual viewer. I think the casual viewer wants the narrative and the characters developed. And you and I are like, could care less.
Yeah.
Like warm bodies. This is we gotta
No,
move. We gotta
there's a
score
time and
tactics.
place. There's a time and place.
Yeah.
We're doing a review. There's a lot of downtime. A lot of people are,
Yep.
but when I'm getting the wide shot or getting the game broadcast and the ball's already hiked, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. I didn't see how any of them were lined up. I didn't get to see how the motion affected the defense. I didn't hear any of the calls from the quarterback. And now you want me to analyze how he's playing? No, I don't. I hate it.
So Drake May sucks. No,
Yeah.
they're covering Alex. They're covering his bad play. No. It is funny. I do think he's a great player. I will say I want the thing that made me like Drake May, and I have to emphasize, it is the media around talking about him is what I don't like. I think he is awesome. He had one of the greatest draft day things with his brother. Have you heard? Did you see this? Do you remember this at all?
No, please remind me.
His brothers, he's the youngest of like 4 brothers or something like that, and they were great athletes as well. They like played collegiately, different sports, and it's such a beautiful insight into the relationship. He gets drafted to the NFL, the New England Patriots, and they go, and his brothers wanted to prepare a warm reception and give their thoughts on their brother. And they recreated the Fab Five documentary when they asked the players, what did you guys think about Christian Laettner? And it goes to each guy and goes, pretty boy. He goes, he was soft. And then the one guy goes, he's a bitch. and so on the broadcast, the day he gets drafted, the broadcast go to his brothers and go, what do you think of your brother after he got drafted? And they go, pretty boy. They go, soft. He's a bitch.
Bitch, like on the Mel Kiper ESPN feed, like that broadcast.
I can't remember if it was like the segment after or like his brothers talking about the draft. So it might have been a different broadcast talking about the draft. So it might have been outside of it, but I think you could technically say bitch like once or something like that on like
The
cable
FCC
television or
rule.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But it was such a beautiful insight into just like they could immediately humble him, just immediately humble him. And like, anyway, very endearing. I thought it was great. Anyway, it's crazy. I feel like on the other side, the Jets look so sad. They look like such a sad team, and it's just like they've got nothing going.
And then they get rid of Sauce. They trade Sauce away. You know, we missed the
Quinion,
deadline stuff. Quinnen Williams, I
Quinnen,
think. Yep.
yes, yep,
Um, yeah, he gets traded away to Dallas.
uh-huh.
Which we'll talk about that coming up here, I'm sure, as we get
I know, and
ready.
it's funny. Aaron Glenn, God bless him. I think he's a good coach, and I think he's like doing the best he can with what he's got. But I feel so bad for that man. I always look over, and he's just kind of like he's smiling, and he's like whenever there's a good play, he's like excited. But then like they lose, and he's still like keeping a good face. But man, I'm just waiting for it to just wear him down. Like the city, the spirit, the team. I just think it's bad ownership. It's just bad ownership.
Doesn't it feel like the opposite of, I mean, if we're Eagles fans, I'm going to shoehorn in Nick Sirianni here. Nick Sirianni was the opposite. He got given like the best situation, and now his record,
Right.
like kind of like even as he was learning, was really, really good. And the opposite
Mm-hmm.
is like Aaron Glenn's a first-time head coach now, and he just got given the short end of the stick, and it got made harder over the trade deadline as
Yeah.
we kind of joked about in earlier podcasts, and the landscape of the media has as well. Woody Johnson, the owner that you're talking about, he's playing like it's Madden out there. He's getting draft picks, and he's trying to
Yeah.
trade away his best players to get future draft picks. Um, and so then Aaron Glenn has to just eat all of these losses for to start his career. Like you said, good on him for just, taking it in stride. And thank God they won 2 games, because it would have been really hard, that like really, really demoralizing 0. Like, are they going to be like the Detroit Lions? Are they going to be the
Yeah.
new, like fully
Browns.
defeated team, or the Browns? Yeah. So at least they won 2 games, because that's at least precedented, failure. you know, that's at least been done before. Um,
Yeah.
it's not like, record-breaking failure for Aaron Glenn's sake.
The biggest noteworthy thing I felt like for me, I think I mentioned already, but Henderson was awesome in this game. Drake May was very good. And I think Diggs had a good game too. Fantasy wise, I feel like those were the big players. I think Brees Hall had an okay game, I want to say. I might be conflating it with the week before. Uh, Um, I feel like those are the only noteworthy guys. With Garrett Wilson out, it's just pretty sad fantasy wise.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it
I don't
is.
think Fields might not play next week. It might be Tyrod. It's up in the air, so that's just a carousel as well. But did you watch any of the Miami Washington game, that early
Yeah,
one?
that was the one I did watch. So I did watch the end of that one, and Tua is just a tough watch. And
Yeah,
Washington, I'll tell you what, the overtime decision they get the ball, and Mariota throws an interception like right away. And with the new overtime over the last, it's like 2 years old now, but like each team gets a possession, right? So an interception in the opposite end zone is like the most demoralizing thing you can do in that format. Like
yeah,
Mariota made the absolute worst possible thing, because then a field goal just wins it. He basically lost the game with one throw. Um, and just Washington looks like this is what I thought would happen earlier in the year, but it finally happened towards the end of the year. It's one of the oldest, teams in the league. I think maybe the oldest team. Bobby Wagner, I don't know how he's still doing it at middle linebacker. He's still making
I
impressive
know.
plays, and he's a clear Hall of Famer. I'll just put that at least where that's one part of Washington. Luvu is also a bright spot.
He's second in tackles on the season. Bobby Wagner.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
And kind of a disservice that, what they have around him, because they didn't help him too much, because the secondary
yeah.
kind of got.
Lattimore. They brought Lattimore over, and he's been. It seems like I was talking to Nick, who is a
Yeah,
Washington fan,
yeah.
and he was saying he's like our defense just tries to like they just hurt people
Yeah,
and like it's like penalties and injuries and just like
it's
it's
dirty.
just
Yeah,
chaos.
yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, I'm worried because the Eagles play them twice to end the year, and like I just want to get into the playoffs healthy, and so
Right.
it'll be tricky. I hope it's not something too crazy. But man, I'll tell you what, I've got Jaden Daniels in one league, and it has been brutal. It's a 2 QB league, so I really needed him. I drafted him early, and I played Mariota a couple weeks. I'm just trying to plug the gaps, and now I'm just like scrambling at quarterback. It's been a tough. It's tough, and also we talked about this at one point in one of the pods, but unfortunately, it feels a little bit like RG3 kind of vibes.
Well, we were saying
He's not.
RG5. RG's number 5. He's RG5.
Yep.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, and it's a bummer. Because he's an ASU guy. I know he went to LSU after, but I still claim him as ASU, and I really want him to do well.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't want to, but it's just brutal to have like the amazing rookie season followed by in and out of the lineup with injuries,
Hmm.
and it's like those two back to back are like carbon copies so far. So anyway,
And
hopefully
the way they
that'll
play, they're like um, upright, very fast sprinters. Like
yes,
the way
right,
they run on the field. Um, and so like their
yeah,
play style is very similar to of like reminiscent where it's like burner speed, but it's very fragile. It's like a glass cannon in
yeah,
video game terms. Like it is
yeah,
a if he's not getting down or getting out of bounds, he's susceptible to taking a big hit and not unfortunately withstand those hits. And he was doing a pretty good job of it. He's not like Jackson Dart where he's going into the contact, but inevitably if you run that much and you're kind of that kind of slender with that slender build, it's
yeah.
tougher, I think, to withstand all
Plus,
that.
plus they didn't have Scary Terry has been out of the lineup as well because that was I think it was a holdout initially, and then he had some injuries that kind of came back up, and so he's also been in and out of the lineup, which makes it harder for them. I mean, not luckily, but I think what ends up happening is they're one of the oldest teams,
Hmm.
and now that they are underperforming, hopefully they get some good draft picks and then get infused with some good talent, and they have a good base with Jaden there to kind of build around, which is what it feels like is happening. But who knows? They could finish out the season strong if they get some wins, and then Daniels comes back. That'd be kind of fun, but who knows?
Yeah.
Now, Minnesota, Chicago. Have you been keeping up with this Chicago Philly alliance? Have you heard of this?
Yes, because we keep beating the North, and on top of
Yeah.
this, my boss is a big Chicago fan, so he keeps like thanking me like I'm part of the team because he knows I'm an Eagles
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah, there you
Until
go.
Black Friday. Black Friday, the two
Yep.
of them play. They square off.
How
Um,
perfect. How poetic. Black Friday is the end
yeah,
of the alliance.
I might go to that
It's a
game.
dark,
I might go to that
dark.
game with Jared. But we'll think
Is
about.
it's in Philly?
It's in Philly. It's a home game, and right after Thanksgiving, I'll
Nice.
be with the family, so maybe we'll do that. But as far as
Nice.
yes, the Bears are probably huge Eagles fans because we keep beating the North, all of their division. So we beat
Yep.
the
And
Packers,
they're
Minnesota, and what's the other one?
we got
Packers, Minnesota.
Vikings, Packers, and then the Lions. We just
No,
beat.
we just beat the Lions. Yes, that's right.
Yep. And they have beat all the NFC East as well. Uh, so yeah, it has completed. It has been completed. And now we play each other,
And
which will
now
be
we
fun.
duel.
Yeah,
We duel at high noon.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's been fun. Caleb has had some good games. Swift has been solid. I think Odunze has been good. There's just it's Ben Johnson. I feel like he's really spreading the ball around. It feels like it's tough to know.
I think they're okay. They're doing okay. I think more of this. I think the story here is the defense. I mean, 19-17 in this game, but that's not uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, one of our Madden darlings, Maine Edmonds, the middle linebacker,
Uh,
6'5". He
height,
came
weight,
over from
speed
the
guy.
Bills. You love him.
Yeah.
6'5", fast, 260.
Mm-hmm.
Middle of the
Mm-hmm.
defense, really
He can run,
rangy. He can run.
but strong. Yep.
He is excellent in run defense, excellent in pass. He just blocks up the whole middle of the field, and you love it for Chicago. Their identity for too many decades has been the linebacker, um, since the '85 Bears or whatever. And then I feel like their back end has been playing a lot better too.
Have you
AJ
seen who it
McCarthy looked
is?
bad. What's that?
Have have you seen who's been really leading them in picks and leading the league in picks for the
N-
Bears?
No. Well, did Gardner Johnson go over there? I think he got picked up
N-
over there.
Um, no,
He's bounced
so
around twice.
another ex Eagle, Byard,
Is he
is the one.
really? Wow.
Yes. So
Kevin
he had
Byard.
another
Yeah.
pick. Yeah. So he had another pick, and I believe he leads the league. I'll double check. I'm pretty sure he's at 5 now. Um, but
I'll say this while you're
yeah, I
looking that up. If the Eagles would have played or had him with the Vic Fangio, I think he would have been way more successful. He always seemed out of the scheme that he was supposed to be in, um, because he looked terrible and washed up. But clearly, he's doing really well here, as you're bringing up.
and Jermaine. Look at that.
Yeah,
The two of them and right. Because that's the thing with their defense. So they have 3 of the top 5 leaders in picks. They have 2 guys with 4 and 1 guy with 5.
that's
And
incredible.
that's the thing with their defense is I think they give up a decent amount of yards, but they get a lot of turnovers.
Hmm.
Um, and so that's been your to your point, the recipe for them is their defense and particularly turnovers.
Because
Um,
I feel like Caleb hasn't had a great year, but he's had some really good heroic moments. Like he's come up
yeah,
in the clutch for them when it mattered, after the
yeah,
defense has been keeping them in the game. So I felt like that's been
yeah,
the story for Chicago this year. Um,
yeah.
because
But
yeah, good.
I was just gonna say, there's also I do think there's been some positive stuff on offense because I've seen a
Hmm.
couple games in fantasy where he's been like top 3 scorer. It's only happened I think twice maybe, so not a lot. And then he does have some lows, like he'll have some bad games as well, which is why I don't think he really comes up as like a top scorer. But the highs are pretty good. And then the other thing with 2 weeks ago when I was going through that whole leading scorer week was the Manungai for the
Oh
backup
yeah.
running back.
Uh-huh.
I played him in it was only the 10-person, the Brilliantly Dumb League. I played him, and the guy I was playing against had Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey, and I beat him with Manungai. And
Oh.
he goes, he goes, he goes, he texts me and he's like, the Rutgers product, my God, what a pull! Like what a pull! Because I have no idea who this guy
This
is,
guy has
but Swift
Jonathan
happened to be hurt.
Taylor and Christian McCaffrey. That is
Well,
wow.
it's a 2 QB league, so QBs go early
Hmm.
and some of the other guys fall. So
Oh, okay.
and he capitalized. He capitalized
Good
really
for
well.
him.
And
Yeah.
10-person league, so it's a little bit deeper, but
Right, right.
still, that's crazy. That's 1 and 2 running backs at the moment, which
That's
is pretty nuts. Um,
while we're on
but
that we're on that topic, I'll say this. That was, I think, my lesson for this year. I for so many years it was always overvalue the running back, and this year I lost my way, I think, a bit with the running
went for the
backs.
receiver.
Went for the
Mm,
receivers, and part of the reason I brought it up too is I went Justin Jefferson and Addison. Speaking of Minnesota
yeah.
Chicago game here,
Yep.
um, so the Minnesota Chicago game, they lost 19-17. Minnesota has looked pretty bad with. I'm gonna circle JJ McCarthy here. Does not
Oh,
look good. Does not look
no.
good. I have two
No.
receivers to prove it that looked
Yep.
fine under Sam Darnold.
Yep.
They were fine and thought the head coach was a genius and everybody was happy. And they thought, okay, now we got the quarterback. He had a year to kind of watch everything, and here he's going to come in, and he looks
Oh,
brutal. He looks pretty brutal.
yeah. He's got the talent, you can tell, but he's just trying to throw a fastball every single time.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't think it doesn't seem like he's communicating with his teammates well. He's just trying to run the play really well. And
Hmm.
it's like, that's cool, man. But like, shit's happening on the defense and the players are reacting. Like, he's just not on the same page. And he's just trying to do like absolute bullet passes every time. And yeah, it's a bummer because I had him as like a backup, thinking he could be. They have a really good strength of schedule second half, which is
Hmm.
why I've got Jefferson in the league as well. And I was like, okay, he's really going to eat at the end of the year, and hopefully it might happen. But yeah, I'm feeling less and less optimistic about it. I think McCarthy's very brutal. Um, they have Aaron Jones coming back; he's been solid. Mason kind of has mixed in there,
Yep.
but
But
yeah, I don't
just
know.
kind of an
The
average
next,
team this year. They took a step back, but yeah, we'll jump into the next one.
yeah, and their defense is fun, but I think they're in a younger phase. Minnesota is, and it's a lot of growing pains.
Yep. Yeah,
With
for
their
sure.
pass rush as well. Anyway, the next one, Cincy Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh just blew them out, and then Jamar Chase had the spit, and
Yeah.
and
Yep.
man, Pittsburgh, their defense finally looks pretty solid.
Yeah. They're
I
starting to
mean,
play
it's against
together.
Flacco,
They're
but
starting to play
what?
together. They're starting to play together. The
Yeah,
defense is playing together, communicating better. I didn't catch most of this game. I watched an ungodly amount of Green Bay and Giants because I have Jordan Love, so I didn't catch a lot of this game. Um, but I heard about the spit and the punch, the ejection, the
yep.
suspension. Yeah.
It was wild too because Aaron Rodgers was having a good game, but then he left the game with a wrist injury, and then Mason Rudolph came in, and then Warren, the running back, he left the game. So Kenny Gainwell had a really big day,
Yeah, 2 touchdowns.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and so that was pretty noteworthy there. But it was kind of a blowout. Their defense looks pretty solid. Other than that, though, I mean, who knows? I stashed Burrow in one league. Hopefully he comes back. That would be kind of fun. But I don't know if they're going to keep losing, they might not rush him back, and then
Yeah.
it might be a little bit of a
And also
lost
it's
kind
like
of thing.
Flacco hasn't played terribly. I don't think it's the quarterback that's holding them back. It's always been the offensive line getting these guys hurt, making it harder.
Yeah,
And the defense is bad. Like you said, I think it'd be more wise to load up, reload, and then get Burrow out there next year. That seems more wise
yeah.
to do.
And they have a young defense. I think they're just like, unfortunately, just dealing with the growing pains of like they lost Jesse Bates a few years ago. They lost some other people after that Super Bowl run, and then they've just like been drafting. They never really like replaced anybody, um, and so they're all just young players or whatever. But anyway, next one, Tampa Bay Buffalo, and this was a shootout. Did you watch any of this at all? This was
No, I just happened to go against Josh Allen in 2 different leagues. That he scored 6 touchdowns and got 44 points and 48 points, I think. Um, but no, I didn't watch this one. Unfortunately, maybe I should have. Maybe I could have hexed him. Maybe I could have done the Snape thing that we talked about. Where Snape is,
yeah, there you go.
casting counter spells during the Quidditch match. Because
Yeah.
yeah, that Josh Allen hurt me in two of the 3 leagues I have, so that was tough. 44-32 looks like probably the most exciting game though of the week, as far as
Yeah,
scoring.
and I think it was I wasn't totally locked in. We had like a Friendsgiving actually, and so
Oh, fun.
we all kind of little party action. I'm kind of looking in. I'm in a conversation. I'm looking in, kind of whatever. But yeah, this one every time they broke to it, it felt like there was a big play or a touchdown or something. I felt like Tampa Bay. I think Igbuka had a good game. Is that right?
No, I think he might have had a down week.
Or I'm sorry, Tucker, the running back,
Sean
the
Tucker.
backup
Yep,
running back.
he had
Yes,
he had
that's right.
32 carries, I think. Another
Yeah.
thing, just holding Rashad White's stock for too long there. Didn't get the
Oh,
play. It
I've
was
got
Sean
I've
Tucker.
got Bucky. I've got Bucky in 2 leagues, and I'm just praying to God that they just were like, "Thank you, Sean, for your service." Now I hope Bucky just replaces what he just
Now
did.
this
That
did
would be,
happen. This did happen last year. Sean Tucker had one good game last year, similar to this one, and then
and then
Avatar.
left,
When they needed him most, he
disappeared. He
disappeared.
disappeared. What a reference! I love that.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah. I'm trying to pull
Oh man,
the other fringe, the common man fringe fans in to the football
there you go.
sickos.
Hit him with the
Yeah.
avatar. Hit him with the avatar. I love it. It is funny. The Buffalo feels like Josh Allen and the Josh Allenettes. You don't have like enough. I guess Cook kind of counts, but even him, he feels like a clear second option to whatever Josh is doing.
Their supposed, drafted high wide receiver didn't play in this game. Keon Coleman. He was
Yeah.
supposed to play, and to your
Yep.
point, then they score 44 points without him. It's like they are kind
Yeah.
of the Joshettes, like you're saying. He's just kind of putting the team on his back, and ever since Stephon Diggs left, it's kind of just been like whoever I throw it to when I'm running around, they're going to get the ball. And he's big enough,
Yeah.
strong enough, and just a better athlete that he can kind of play. Is it South Dakota football? I think he played South Dakota, or maybe no, Wyoming.
No.
Wyoming.
There you
Sorry.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I always get him
There you
confused because
go.
he's up there somewhere in the cold.
He's up there, the great
there.
north, the great north. Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing American football. There you go. That's for
American football.
Or actually, who knows? Maybe Canadian. Maybe he dabbled in Canadian football while he was
Wider
up there.
fields,
Who knows? Right across
fields,
the
bigger
border.
players.
Wider fields. Sure. Exactly. The next one was one of the more surprising ones. Jacksonville crushed the Chargers.
Both on this one, both dead wrong on this one. 35 Jacksonville to 6 for the Chargers.
Yeah.
Is the offensive line dead? Did Alt go out?
Dude,
is that what happened?
It was so sad having Herbert because he they had don't you dare. This is his don't you touch the golden boy. Don't you how dare you, Alex.
Here we go.
He has no one else.
Here we go.
No, he's no one. It was who is this? Like their offensive line completely decimated.
Mm-hmm.
Vidal left. Don't you have him as well? Did he leave the game at one point?
I know. You don't need to rub it in my face, Jake. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. Like the explanation is, I think the Jacksonville knew that they had to throw, and the game script was very bad, and Jacksonville knew it, and they just were like, "All right, go ahead and throw." And they had their offensive line is decimated, and it's really sad, dude. The Chargers do this every year. They have such promise, and then they get injured, and it's like, what's going on? Like, what are we doing here?
They're the best on paper team. They have so many on paper Super Bowls preseason. Many on paper MVPs for their quarterback there.
Sean Marion has 3 Defensive Player of the Years. Sean Marion has 3 Defensive Player of the Years.
Remember that the lights out dance?
On paper. Yeah, there you go. Lights out dance.
Don't screenshot
on
that.
paper.
Please don't screenshot that. Yeah.
Yeah. But dude, good for the Jags. I'm kind of pumped for the Jags. I am upset because I like exactly what's happening. They're like right above 500. They're kind of getting hot. Their defense is really playing well, but I was really hoping that Travis Hunter was going to be there for that.
Yeah.
And it's sad to me that they're doing this and like the golden goose isn't there to kind of put some pizzazz on it.
God, he'd have so many end arounds. He'd have so many end arounds and screen passes. He'd have so many
pick.
Oh gosh, can you just see him doing a Cooper DeJean where pick 6, but he's going the opposite direction of everybody, and he's going against the grain. It's just pretty football. It would have been pretty football.
Looks like a punt return.
Right.
It looks like a punt return.
Yeah.
But your boy though, Alex, did you stay with the man, the myth, the legend? Not big, but little.
Oh, Jake, this is okay. This is what I have so many
things
to say about this podcast. Since we started doing this podcast, we have a history now to look back on all of our tapes. And if I just stuck with my guy, you talked me out of him. For 2 weeks, he floundered. He looked horrible.
I was just asking. I didn't know. I was asking what's up with your
my golden goose. I'm going to use golden goose now. Little, the kicker. I plucked him out of preseason. He hit 172 yarder. I said, that's my guy. I'm just recapping for people that don't know. I said, that's my kicker.
Alec.
And Jake, he had a couple bad weeks in the middle of the year here, and you said, really, that was your guy? And I questioned myself. I cut him. And
you got to stick to your guns. That's the lesson. The lesson's you got to stick to your guns. We both have to.
I know. But that's why I'm sticking on the Herbert thing. That's why I'm sticking on the Herbert thing. And I'm saying, you said he'd be an MVP. I said, no way. And what'd he do this past week?
You said, you said Love was going to be an MVP. So you liked Love more than Herbert. You liked Love more than Herbert.
He could still kind of do it.
Alex, before we leave Jacksonville, I want to mention something. Just an absolute sicko move by me, but a sicko football move where on the honeymoon at the swim up bar, lawyer from Jacksonville, this old lawyer from Jacksonville comes up and he goes, did you see the game? And after a few back and forth, he could tell. He was like, how did you know that player? Because I was naming Jacksonville Jaguar players. And he goes, we have this rookie. And Lisa goes, Little? And he goes, how did you know that name? Lisa named Little to him, and he hit that was it 68-yarder or something like that?
I don't know, Jake. Would you stop rubbing it in my face? It's just you're just sticking my nose in it, aren't you?
Well, I had to tell you that your guy Little came up at my honeymoon at the swim up bar, so you had to know that.
Now, can I ask you?
You had to know it.
While we're on the honeymoon for a second, we'll go back. Is Lisa like, hey, Jake, can we get back to the honeymoon here, or is she like, okay? Because I know she's playing fantasy football with us, and she's like more than most into football and everything. But is there a point where did you go too far on the sicko?
This is what I'm saying. It's so perfect to fly on Sunday because we're in the air. We're locked in,
right?
And so I'm just watching the games. Otherwise, I'd be either on the Kindle or taking a nap. So it's it wasn't infringing on anything. And then the only things I watched there were I think I watched I caught the second half of a Thursday night, I think. So it was perfect because then even both ways, when I was flying back too, I watched it. So it was a great, I had my time to just be at the honeymoon, which was very nice.
That's awesome.
But this guy brought up the Jaguars and it was oh man, it was too funny. But they look, it's funny though, because they do look good, but Lawrence still looks terrible. He still looks.
It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing because he was. I mean, it's been 5 years now? Is it 5 years?
Yeah,
maybe?
I think he's about. I think he's about to sign an extension. It's the end of his rookie deal, basically. I think
because I kind of don't blame him for the Urban Meyer start because that's tough.
Right.
And then Doug Peterson, and now. We've got Duval. I forget his name.
Yeah.
But that guy.
Cohen.
Cohen, thank you. So that's always an excuse that's used for him. But at a certain point, Jalen Hurts has a new offensive coordinator every single year. And he it's
Did you see that graphic? We'll get to it, but
we'll get to the birds. But I just mean it's not uncommon. That happens in the NFL. Head coaches
who would you
rise above?
Who would you rather have right now as your quarterback, McCarthy or Lawrence?
Wait. Okay,
I feel
to start my franchise or to win one game.
Answer. I guess you can answer both. We'll do 2 questions.
To win one game, I'm going Trevor Lawrence because he actually has some experience and he has shown more consistency. But again, that's probably just because he's been in the league for 5 years compared to JJ has had 6 games in the league. Really tough with the sample size for JJ. I think I just go Trevor Lawrence, but only because I know it's the devil I know. Is really
Yeah,
the only reason
yeah.
why. Yeah,
They're similar to me, where they both have all the ability, but they just like don't communicate well with their teammates, and it just is like they can run, they can throw a bullet pass, but they just like there's something missing, and I just can't put my finger on it, and it just looks like bad football when you watch it.
yeah.
Um,
They got to be
and it's tough
if they want
to.
to be winners, they got to be sociopaths like Tom Brady. You got to bark. You got to
There you go.
bark at your guys, and you got to really demean them and
Yeah,
humiliate them in front of their peers. And that
yeah,
that way you assert your dominance as a rookie
yes,
quarterback throwing picks out there.
yeah. It's the only way to do it.
That's the only
Really, I
way.
think
That's
is to
that's
do
how
it
you
that way.
that's how you communicate.
Uh, I and it's the other thing. The other before we leave this game in Jacksonville here, the other guy, the other one, they're not. They don't know Trevor or Travis Hunter. They also don't have Brian Thomas. Has been also very
What
disappointing.
a
It's been
disappointment in fantasy. He
it's
got
been
drafted so
nuts.
high. I drafted him so high in one league.
Yeah,
He's been out, or when
I
he
did
is
too.
playing, he's like you spend so much on him, and he had a good year last year, which you reminded me was with Mac Jones, but he still had a
Yeah,
good year, and you spent so much on him in the draft, you kind of have to play him. It
yeah,
puts you in that position in fantasy football where you're like,
yep,
if he's gonna do it, I'm going down with the ship.
yeah.
I kind of gotta play him, and then he's questionable, and it's like, is he gonna play? And then he gets a last minute, I'm out 1 week earlier this year, so it's like he's been a wreck.
Uh, it's brutal because between him and Hunter, you're thinking those are their 2 guys. So they traded for Jacoby Myers, which is kind of wild, and he's kind of getting integrated or whatever. But on paper, they look solid, but who knows? Who knows in practice? And in the other game, so you were watching this Green Bay Giants, though. I
I
guess
watched almost
it
this
looked like
whole
a
game. I watched this whole
yeah.
game. This was the one that I stayed on. This is the one where I'm getting angry with the wide shots, and I'm yelling at the,
Okay, yeah.
um, because I have Jordan Love in all 3 leagues, and I put my chips on the table. I said Jordan Love's my guy. Um, I thought the Packers would have a much better passing attack. Um, Now I did think that Josh Jacobs would get hurt this year, hence me trading him away in a league. Did I think it would come this
Yeah.
late?
Oh, this is coming back now,
I
Alex.
I've got a
Oh,
couple. We can go check the tape, but I've
yeah.
had a couple different things come to fruition, especially from that trade. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
it happened. But this is my thought process at the time, was he is an older power back. And I just didn't think
Yeah.
that would withstand. Now, Josh Jacobs is sort of an exception to this rule, as he's proven me very wrong this year. But it did happen just later than I would have liked. So never wrong, only early.
There you go.
He Now this game, Jameis Winston, I think, was the story here. This is the first week with the
Yeah.
Jameis Winston experiment, and also Mike Kafka, the interim head coach, was his
Yep.
first game after the Brian Daboll firing. That's something we kind of
Ex-Eagle.
he sure is ex-Eagle player and assistant coach. Never a good player, kind
Hmm.
of a decent quarterbacks coach, and then he was assistant with the Giants, and then now the interim head coach. Um, anyway, all of that pretty good game plan coming in, and it's funny when we were looking in the off season. I don't know if I said it on the podcast. It'd be funny to go back, but when I was looking at the Giants and thinking about how their season would go, this was kind of it. You had a Russell
Mm.
Wilson chapter, you had a
Yep.
Jackson Dart chapter, and then you're going
Yep.
to have a Jameis Winston chapter that we're entering here. And
Yep.
when you sign all 3 of those guys, it's kind of like you got to pick one. You can't, like, with all of these guys, you're kind of saying I'm going to play all of them, and then that ended up happening. Now Jameis is playing his first game, and Jameis is doing Jameis things. He's chucking it down the field in this game. Micah Parsons is chasing him
Mm.
around, and he's evading in the pocket, but Jameis is
Yeah.
much older now, and he reminded me. This is my comparison for him, body type wise and kind of play style. Younger Jacoby Brissett, bigger,
Wow.
bigger kind of guy, can kind of control himself in the pocket, big arm, um, making pretty good decisions with like checks on the field, and like Brissett with the New England days, kind of like game
Mm-hmm.
managing pretty well. Jameis did some good game managing. At this point in his career, he's still doing the silly pregame speeches.
Is he?
That
I didn't.
they
I
showed
missed
one of
that.
those, and you were like, "Oh my God, here he goes again." Um,
Yeah.
and dude, his pregame interviews are just he's so sincere. On a spectrum of sincerity and sarcasm. He's so sincere that you then think he's back on the other end to being sarcastic, because
Yeah.
because he's like, it's a beautiful, blessed day to play for the New York Giants, and you're like, is he fucking with us? But you know it's Jameis. You're like, no, he's serious. you know. Um, so it was a surprisingly close game. I really thought that Green Bay would roll over this team. I was really kind of
Yeah.
disappointed with their defense in this. Like, the Giants did a pretty good job. Tracy looked pretty good in this.
Yep.
Um, I felt like,
Singletary as well.
yep, yeah, he looked pretty good. And I realized this about Green Bay. They run the ball, play action bombs, like these kind of like really low percentage bombs that they're just okay with taking. They're low
Mm.
percentage that they might not be like an interception, but there's a lot of incompletions that aren't even close. That he's just like chucking deep balls to like Golden, or
Yeah.
chucking to Dobbs. Christian Watson looks like the best wide receiver for them now. I'll say that,
I know.
because
Yeah.
we're watching this game, and he just wrong hands the ball, like really, really. He did that twice for two really good, I think, touchdowns. And
Yeah. I picked him up in a couple leagues. The thing I remember um, clocking as a fantasy owner was they paid him. They paid him like, I think it's 10 million a year for like 2 years or something. And
Mhm.
of all the receivers, he's the only one they've really actually like put their money where their mouth is. And then he also was hurt to start the year, coming back, and it felt like a good. Plus, they had a lot of injuries at receiver. They still do.
Speaking of which, Dobbs,
It's
dude,
just a
Dobbs,
revolving door.
Dobbs looks like a little leaguer. He looks like a Pee Wee football with the
Big,
what's it
the
called? The
guardian
skull
cap.
cap, guardian cap. Thank you. Yeah, his
Yeah.
helmet is so much bigger than everybody else's, because and no shame on that game, because you're trying to protect yourself. I get it, but he just looks like a little kid out there, and
Yeah.
he's getting hurt. Like, he left the Eagles game the week prior with a chest injury, and then he
Hmm.
leaves this game for a minute. He comes back into the game, but he's kind of in and out. Like you're saying, they've had a lot of injuries. Golden got hurt. Obviously, Jaden Reed has been out most of the year, and I think they're the
How
really hurting with Tucker Kraft being gone now.
Yes,
That was the
that's
big
the
one.
other reason I
Mhm.
think Watson's good is because he's the only other like big body,
Yeah.
power catcher, like you're saying, like not just relying on speed or like agility. He can kind of do a little bit of that. Not like Kraft, obviously. Kraft was like maybe the best tight end in the league when he was playing this
He looked
year, but
amazing. He looked like
yeah,
prime Travis Kelce at times.
yeah.
Um,
I
yeah.
think I think him and the other guy that I've been very lucky in fantasy with is McBride is the other
Mm,
tight end.
yeah.
I think the two of them, maybe with Bowers, are like the I think that's top five. Those three guys
Well, you're lucky. You're
with maybe
lucky
some
that
older guys.
they ghost benched Kyler Murray, because
But yeah.
Kyler Murray, Kyler Murray.
Well, you know what happened, Alex? You know what happened? The new COD dropped, and so
Yep.
he's like, "I'm on
100%.
IR.
Yeah.
I've got the season pass. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be
Just got a cool
yeah.
decal on
I'm
my gun.
Yeah, dude. But I will say with Kyler Murray, his kill to death is incredible ratio.
Incredible.
Very good.
Just
Yes.
incredible, and you can never knock
And
him for that. You can the
yeah,
analytics can't take that away from him.
I think it's better than Tom Brady's touchdown to interception. So
His
that's
KD's
what people are
amazing.
saying.
Yep. His
Yeah.
KD's amazing,
So
and,
if we can integrate that into fantasy, I think he'd be a number one pick. He'd be pretty high up, I think. How did you like the Giants' defense? Did you feel like they were? Because I feel like that's the identity of the team. Did it feel like the pass rush was really getting home with the sexy Dexy, Carter, Burns,
Abdul Carter looks
Tibbs?
great. Yeah, Abdul Carter looks great. Throughout the year, I feel like he's really coming on. Burns Burns had some flashes, but, honestly, I kinda was more impressed with the secondary, maybe because I didn't have expectations for them, like
Mm,
Flott. Flott
right.
looks pretty good. Um, Maybe again, this is part of the Green Bay wide receivers being injured and kinda not being on the same page. Um,
Mm,
but, um, but yeah, they held up and Jacobs probably had a decent day before getting injured, and then I think Wilson came in here and there. Um, they 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 held their own, and I would just say that it felt like that they didn't get burned on a lot of big plays, like, kept everything in front
mm,
of them, and so
yeah.
they seem more disciplined, I guess, um, than other giant that again, I thought that they would get just the doors blown off, so the fact that it was 27-20, keeping it close, keeping it puncher's distance, pretty impressed with the Giants' performance in it because I felt like Green Bay's
I
one of the top teams.
I picked up Tracy and Singletary in our one league, and I feel like Kafka. I'm really excited for Kafka and Winston and the play design to be like an under center, like traditional varied run game where like they can actually do like a game script and hopefully just get some yards just by design and not really like players because they don't have the weapons without Neighbors and Dart. Although Dart might come back, but
But also a
yeah,
fresh start, dude. Dayball's been coaching for his job for too long, burnt out, and I just felt like it was time for a change. It was probably time last year, but Mara, the owner for the Giants, didn't want to seem like too reckless. He didn't want to seem, but
yeah,
I felt like it was pretty obvious that Joe Shane and Dayball, um, even though I don't know, Joe Shane they're like slowly building it right now, but Dayball, after the concussion stuff, he just seemed like a hothead after like trying to with Scataboo and Dart and Dayball. The three of
yeah,
them seemed all like wild cards, like the three of them.
yeah,
So
and
they seem more professional, like you're saying with Kafka, with the play design. It's going to be a little bit more
yeah,
professional. I feel like,
yeah. Dayball with it's crazy because his whole thing was he was the offensive coordinator for Josh Allen when Josh Allen broke out. And the whole thing was he did designed run plays and then he was doing it with Dart and it's like the whole critique of the offense of the team was Dart was taking way too many hits. And
hmm
it's like, it's crazy because that's his like calling card is the thing that everyone is like, you know, we can't be doing this. We're going to get him killed. And Dable's like, this is what I do is,
he
I get the
he reminds
quarterback on
me of
6 yard run.
I'm gonna try to use a basketball analogy here. You know Tom Thibodeau, the Knicks head coach? Um,
Yes.
he just plays all of his starters way too many minutes, like the whole
Right.
regular season, and they have great regular season and they burn out in the playoffs, or they burn out at some point during the year.
Right.
That's what Brian Daboll is to me, is like just all gas and no finesse at all. We are going
Right.
to win this quarter like our lives depend on it, and then we're going to win the next quarter.
Right.
And then just they exhausted. He was trying to pull him out of concussion 10 too early. Like everything was just trying to win now, win now, win now, and just
Yeah.
play his guys too much and not rely on um, like crafting good plays. you
Yeah.
know?
And I mean, it was. We'll see how it. I'm very interested if Dark comes back, what his fantasy production's like because he was doing really great there. I mean,
He's talented.
I'm like critiquing Dart taking hits, but like selfishly as a fantasy owner, it was great because he was just getting all his rushing yards.
Yeah.
And he was good for that. But anyway, okay. The next one we got Carolina, Atlanta, and you know what? I don't know why I don't listen to myself.
Yeah.
I have
Me
been
too.
preaching for Carolina, and I'm like, they're
All year.
sneaky good.
Yep.
They're sneaky good,
I
but
I followed I
then
jumped on your train. I jumped on the Carolina train from you,
yep,
2 or 3 weeks ago. Why did
yeah.
we jump off? Why did we jump off the
I
train? What were we
I
doing?
don't know what we did here. We both picked Atlanta. They lose by 3.
Ugh,
Bryce Young has the best game of his career. He set a franchise record for passing yards with like I think it was
almost
480 or
500.
something like that.
Almost
Uh,
500, yeah.
yeah,
Now, I will say
yeah,
Penix left
and
the game. Penix left the game, and old Kirko
yes,
Cousins was in the game at
yep,
the end.
yep,
And, Atlanta, dude, I think the GM's gonna get the Nico, Harris treatment here soon. The GM that traded away Lucca. The fact that
sure,
this GM traded up to get Penix and
yep,
gave up a lot of assets and then traded up to get these edge rushers.
yep,
This is not gonna look good because they are now 2-7. Those are like win now moves, and now that the team
yeah,
is bad, this
yeah,
looks like a fireable offense for the GM
yeah.
being that
They're
aggressive.
gonna. I do still think they have a good core. Like Atlanta, like he sold his soul to get it, but he does have a good core, and it just sucks because the way you got it was by selling off the future, but
Mhm.
now you have to develop the guys. And like yeah, Penix is I think underperformed. Although Bijan's been solid, and I feel like Drake London was very solid before he got hurt.
Ugh,
The
rest in
defense
peace.
had some good moments. And that's kind of why I picked Atlanta in this one is I thought their defense, like they've had some really good weeks. They've had some bad weeks, but like I like their corners, I like their safeties, and then the edge rushers, I feel like they're in a good position. They're in a good situation to succeed. And so as long as they could be in decent game scripts, it makes sense. But man, dude, Carolina, they
Can I
I
can I come clean? Can I come clean here for a second before you dive in? I don't think I've watched a single Carolina game this year. I don't think I've watched them
no?
once. I don't think I've even seen them play, and they've just flying under my radar. Maybe I've watched
Uh
a clip here and there, but I
well
need
this
some love because I think you wanted to get into some of the reincarnations maybe with Carolina here.
yes. I was gonna so now this to me was it's a little dated because of our break because we had our little gap week here. So
Yeah,
it made sense a few more weeks ago, but um I we had gone on a bit of a rant about NFL reincarnations and the different players coming back in different ways like
from different
stylistically.
eras. Yeah, from different eras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember some of our examples. I mean, Marvin Harrison is probably the easiest, but what
Well,
were the other
we did
ones
the
we had?
RG3 and Jaden Daniels because we
Oh,
covered that one
yes.
even
We
this
had
one.
London
And
Fletcher
Bobby,
and Bobby Wagner.
that's right. Yep, yep, yep. That
Yep.
was another good one.
Who's come up. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, this one is the one that I was thinking because we were kind of in that mindset. And then that next week, it felt like it to me. Uh, Since change. Chuba Hubbard and Dowdle felt like D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, where you kind
Incredible.
of have
Love it.
what's that? Yeah,
Incredible. I
it's
love it.
because you know what the beauty is too is it is the poorer man's Sonic and Knuckles. You know what I mean? It's like the
Yes. Yep.
smash and dash,
Yep. Yep.
and I feel like they're equally just as like they're above average, but they're just not elite, you know,
Mhm.
like either of them. They're both just, you know, above average. And then together, there's something, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. But I will say Dowdle has really taken the reins the last few weeks here. And so that's
Mhm.
why I was saying it's kind of been affected because it feels like Dowdle's being more of the bell cow, but I still am bullish. I do think it's kind of just been the matchups.
Mhm.
And you were saying you haven't watched Panthers much. I'll give you a little bit of a rundown. Canales is their coach, and he is like a multiple running kind of style. Like
Mhm.
and it makes sense because he's got these two running backs. Bryce Young is can do some rollout stuff, and then it's basically like Bryce Young is just kind of a field general, and they're just trying to run the ball.
Yeah.
They're just trying to run the ball. And then the other thing with them, on defense, Derek Brown, if you remember him, D tackle at
Yes.
Auburn,
Yeah, he's
he
great.
is
He's great.
he is having, I mean, he's already been great, but like a breakout year on top of that. So like I think he's the reason they were okay trading Burns, because he is a legit difference maker and he has been playing really, really well. They have some other young guys as well, but I think they run the ball and they stop the run.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they do. And whenever you do that, you can kind of at least prevent the other team from killing clock on you. And you can, at least have some of it.
But now I have been seeing, I mean, you're talking about running the ball here, but your guy in one of the leagues, I don't know if he's your guy, but
Yeah.
Teteroa
Tet,
McMillan. Yeah,
Tet,
the
baby.
volleyball player,
He
the
finally.
6'4" wide receiver.
Yep.
He's looking good. Speaking of
Yep.
Carolina and more
Yep.
well-rounded, because he looks like a traditional X receiver. Like
Yep.
he's the traditional number one receiver. He's going to win it in the red zone, jump ball, win on one-on-one coverage. So they have to double, and then the whole offense opens up after that. He looks great. He looks good.
In our Lamberville league, I had a lineup that I think a lot of people were like, man, you look like you're pretty weak at receiver, but they both have just really overperformed, even though what I thought. But Devontae Adams and Tet, they're
Yeah.
both top 10 receivers.
Yeah.
And it's been really awesome just to be like, oh my God, thank God. Like Ted is, the crazy thing with him is before this week, I was just, the way I was thinking about him is like, oh, this guy's your ultimate like floor guy. He's going to get you 4 or 5 catches and like 60, 70 yards. And he's just good for 12 every game. And he might get you like 17. He's kind of like this 12 to 17, but like you can set your watch to it. Like every week, 12 to 17. And then this week he gets 33. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
didn't think this was in.
Because then when the
This
touchdowns
was
start
in.
rolling, the touchdowns roll,
Yeah.
and then he's getting more of a share of the
Yeah.
targets, a target share. That's when
Yep.
he really hits up closer to the ceiling there. Yeah.
And even Leggett had a nice little day. I mean, he threw for 380 yards. So like they had to go somewhere.
400.
So
Wasn't it 400 for 80 yards? Wasn't it?
yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, the yards had to go. So even Leggett had a good day as well.
And I don't want to. I
They were
do
all over the
know a
place.
little bit of Carolina ball. I will say I do remember when Rico Dowdle really started coming onto the scene here for them this year. You forget he has a piercing right above his
Here
eye,
we go.
right? He's got a piercing
Yep.
right above his eye. I've said this before on the pod.
Gotta know.
You gotta know that as a fantasy owner. If your running back has a piercing above his eye, he
Lock him in.
is gonna be good. He's gonna be good. You can just set your watch to that too. Yeah, book it.
Book it.
Yeah.
The next one was I don't know. It was like
that
predictable.
was Jake, that exhale when you went, that was the perfect expression for this game. That was Houston versus Tennessee, 16-13.
Ugh. You're thinking Houston's gonna blow them out. You're gonna like Tennessee is, they're.
Yeah.
It is funny, Alex. I'm watching some of these games with Casey and Ken, and they're both Giants and Titans fans respectively, and they were rooting for each other's teams because they want the first overall pick. So they're rooting for each other.
Against. Yeah, they want to lose. Yeah.
So they're trying to lose, but yeah, this is another one where man, the Texans are so disappointing. They have a very good defense. I think their defense is incredible.
I have them in fantasy. They're a great fantasy defense because they're getting sacks, they're getting turnovers. I mean, they held them to 13 here, but the offensive line is so sad.
Yep.
And Nick Chubb, this running back rotation is just kind of uninspiring. Nick
Hey,
Chubb
don't
and
you don't you talk bad
Willie
about Woody Marks?
Woody
How dare
Marks.
you?
Thank you,
How
Willie Woody. There's a snake in
yeah.
his boot. We get it, but
Yeah. People are saying Buzz and Woody with Chubb and Woody. That's what they're saying.
I
They're
want
not.
them to be good, and I think Chubb, for my nostalgia, like I always enjoyed when he was a good running back on the Browns. He was a great
Yeah.
power runner. The injuries obviously caught up to him finally, but he's still like serviceable. He could be like a Frank Gore that you're like, that guy's career is done, and then he plays another 10
Yeah.
years. Like Frank
Yeah.
Gore was this wild power back that played for way too long. I
Yep.
hope he turns into that, like just like if he wants to. Um,
That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one, Alex. A
Reincarnate?
reincarnation
Yeah.
if Chubb is the although there is a Frank Gore Jr. Have you seen?
Oh, his actual son.
Frank Gore Jr.
Yeah.
is in the league.
I
Yeah.
know, but he's not great though,
Um,
right? He's not.
I don't think so. I think he's like a rookie or maybe a second year guy, and he's gotten like a couple plays here and there. So I think he might be actually Carolina, actually, but I'm not positive. But the
And he
Texans feel like a little bit like the similar to Atlanta, like a year ahead of time, where it's like they traded for the quarterback. They got Stroud, and then they also got Anderson. I think that might have been the same draft though. They got both of them, I want to
Will
say.
Anderson, yeah.
Yeah. And they kind of got the edge rusher and the quarterback, but they mortgaged a lot to get it. But it's a little bit different. It's not a great
But
analogy,
Stroud's
but
been
it's
out this year, and he's going to be out next
yeah.
week. I think I just saw a headline before we jumped on the pod.
Yeah.
Um,
Long necks back in.
that's Davis Mills. Yeah,
Davis Mills.
old long neck. Yeah,
A long
yeah.
neck.
Land
Yep.
Before Time. That's right. Yeah.
Yep. He's grazing on grass in the end zone, baby. He's just prancing on over
Well, the high
to get up.
trees, Jake. The high
He
trees,
can
not the grass.
actually I
Well,
don't know if you
maybe
know
grass
this.
on another higher plateau. What's that? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I don't know if you knew this. He can actually, if he wanted, without even jumping, he can kiss the goalpost. Did you know that with him?
I didn't know that. Well, I did. I saw him. He grabbed an apple. He was walking by. He just grabbed an apple
Right.
with his mouth
Off the
and
crossbar? That's right.
off the crossbar. Off the
Right.
crossbar. And, at that
Yeah.
point, you're thinking this guy's got the goods. That's when he got drafted. That was,
Yeah.
I believe, that was a combine. One of the combine events.
Yeah.
The Apple combine
He
event. He just it was.
That's right. That's right. It was right after the pumpkin patch, I believe, that he ended up doing the apple pluck.
And the pumpkin patch might get removed next year. There's just been too many injuries with the pumpkin patch in the combine, so they're talking about it. Anyway, I don't want to digress too much into combine talk.
Yeah. Davis Mills, I do think he was actually, what was that? Not this game, but the week before, he was a top 5 fantasy guy. He was he had a good week actually. And he's I think one of the better backups in the league. Like he's like if you're thinking of like who's the 33rd best quarterback, I think he's right there. I think he's right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like
33. That's a good point. He's got
You know?
a high enough floor to have a job.
Yeah.
To have a
Yeah.
job. Where you're like, okay, he can make checkdowns and he can
Yeah.
make maybe some reads like 1 to
He
2. 1 to 2
Well, like
on the
very
read.
sneakily, he logged like 40 career starts. Like he
Really?
played for like 2 years. That's how they got Stroud and Anderson because they were bad. They were pretty bad.
Wow.
The post Deshaun Watson era, like he was after. I think he might have been there at the same time, but the whole Watson fallout, he came in and kind of filled in. But
Do you know
anyway,
how tall? Do you know how tall he is? I know you know how tall his neck is.
I want
Because
to
his
say
neck is 3 feet high, but what his actual height is? Do you know what his actual
yeah,
height
I
is?
think he's just 6 foot under that. So I think he's like 6'3" or 6'4", give or take.
So he can see over the
I don't
line.
think he's actually. I think it's more of a proportion thing than it's he's super tall. But I do think he's taller than average. I don't know. It's
I'm just wondering because I feel like a guy like that, like in my backup quarterback, I kind of want that kind of Flacco style that you can just hit the.
4. Nailed it.
You did nail it, really. Let's see the neck there. You know, we're giving him some guff here, but in that one, it doesn't look too bad.
I mean,
Oh,
one
you're
of the
gonna look up
first things
neck?
here,
Yeah,
we've
look it
got
up.
neck.
Oh, that one's bad. That one, bottom left there, that Facebook one, that neck, it looks like it almost got elongated, but
Yeah, this one here. But
do you think
I
it
mean,
takes
this one is
longer that one? Do you think it takes longer for him when he eats food for his stomach to tell him that he's full? Because it takes
maybe,
so much
yeah.
longer to come down.
Or
You know what I
maybe
mean?
it speeds through because it's like a bullet
Elevator?
train. It just
Yeah.
it gets down there.
Yeah.
Um,
When
it
he has
doesn't
a
have to
sore
fuss
throat,
around.
that's
It's
whew,
pretty sore. He
that's
takes
like
like 3 Ricolis and he's just
yeah, he needs
sucking on
3 of them.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 he takes NyQuil just to soothe his throat. 3 cups. Usually you take the
yeah,
1 cup, he takes like 3 of
yeah.
those cups, yeah.
Just takes them out. Oh my God. They removed his tonsils. It took him 3 days. All right. All right. I'm
We're
done.
done. We're done
I'm
with
done.
that game. That's
I
we
will
can talk
say,
more about the
as a
neck.
ball player,
Uh-huh.
I think he's good. I do think he's a good ball player. I think he's quietly
Yeah.
very serviceable.
Yeah.
He's like a Jimmy G to me, or a Brissett. You know?
No, Jimmy G, I'll never get out of my head him throwing hospital balls to Devontae Adams in Vegas. Devontae Adams on that wide receiver show was like, I have a family to think about. I can't be playing this sport. And now he's like incredible, like you were saying, he's like top wide receiver. But Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't look at the same way anymore after that.
Yeah. That's well, good. So you think you think Mills is better than Jimmy G? Is what you're
I
saying?
yeah,
Is that
I
right?
think I think that
Wow, that's
I
high
think the
praise.
good looks got Jimmy G in the door.
Yeah,
I think the good
yeah.
looks got Jimmy G in the door. And he used to play for
I
San
think so.
Francisco. And that's the next game is
Went to
going to be
Super Bowl.
yeah.
There you go. There you go.
It's San Francisco and Arizona.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Arizona looks sad. They've got Brissett. San Francisco had Purdy come back.
Mhm.
McCaffrey is on just another legendary run. Just quietly, he's just doing it.
Yeah.
Juice and Kittle are both still absolutely lead blocking their minds off. I don't know I don't know what I just said with that expression. I think I combined like 3 right there, but
They're doing
the
good.
point still stands.
They're
Yeah, they're
doing
doing
well.
good. I think Pearsall comes back this week, right? Because he's been out.
He
He comes
does.
back.
He sat on my bench for so long. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, you just hit a real you just stepped on
Yeah, I
a
get really
fantasy
sad about that.
landmine
Sorry.
there for me. That's
Yeah,
a trigger
sorry.
point for me. I'm gonna come back. I'm back. Whoa, whoa, sorry, what was that? I was just
Whoa, you blacked out.
I went into a fugue state there for a second.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm back. I'm back.
Now, I know San Francisco blew him out, but this kind of turned into the Michael Wilson game. Did you see this?
No, I
Did you
didn't
see
catch
this at all?
most of this game, so please let me know how. Like, yeah, who did well? How did they score 41? I mean, I know Arizona's sad, but what happened beyond that?
So from Arizona's side, they have Brissett starting, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. actually had like appendicitis or his like appendix or what is it?
Oh,
Something he had one procedure, like one of those.
he's having one of the saddest starts to a career that you can have, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean he's still good. He's still good. I just think he was drafted so high, and the name set him up for failure.
Yeah.
Like if he had just like Will Johnson, like
Yeah.
people would be like,
Yeah.
he'd be drafted in the middle of the first, and
Mhm.
people would be like, this is a good player, But it's just the name is like
Definitely.
he's compared to a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, he did not play. So Michael Wilson, the number 2, had 33 fantasy points in PPR, and
Really?
Carlos picked him up off the waivers. And I was actually playing Andrew earlier in the week,
Mm.
and the whole news about Marvin had kind of just come out, and Andrew picked him up. He dropped him to get in Higgins, and earlier in the week before he dropped him, I texted. We're going back and forth. We're talking trash.
I
We're
love
both the
playing Andrew.
last two in
Andrew's
the
great
league.
with that. Yeah, he's great with the
He's
trash
so
talk.
great. And so he and I are going back and forth. And I even said to him, I said, Michael Wilson can't help you now. What do you think you're doing? Yeah, I just wanted to let him know I was watching his waiver wire. Like I saw what he was doing with the team. So I was
Yeah.
like, that Michael Wilson pickup isn't going to help you. And then 2 days later, he drops him. And then he replies to me after I had beaten him, and he goes, "Yeah, actually, turns out Michael Wilson would have would have absolutely been the difference." Um, and he's the reason Carlos got the high score for the week.
Carlos got high score.
It's crazy. It was a very bad week, I think, across the board. Like in the LA league, a lot of the guys we were all chatting, like I I think it was the lowest high score of the season for a
Yeah.
winner, and like everyone scored.
Oh,
There
dude,
just
I
wasn't a
scored
lot of
like
touchdowns.
78 in that league. That was like
What?
Jamar Chase
Yeah,
and spitting on people. Just,
yeah,
yeah, all of it. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah. So anyway, Michael Wilson, that was fun. I think Trey McBride also had a good day because Marvin Harrison wasn't there. There's just more
Hmm.
targets for the two of those guys. And then yeah, San Francisco. I think McCaffrey just had a monster day, and then Kittle, I think, ate a little bit, and then it was just, I mean, it was just a blowout. I didn't see too much of it, but I saw the fantasy stat line after.
Um, really impressive stuff from Shanahan. I just feel like San Francisco each year they have so many injuries, and you think they're kind of out of it, and they just keep chugging along. They just keep chugging
Yeah.
along and stacking up more
Now,
wins. You know.
I was chatting with a couple of the guys. I think Nick maybe, or maybe one of the other guy, Ryan, in our league. I was chatting with him. A little. It'll lead perfectly to the next game. In that division, there's Seattle and the Rams. And Ryan, who I was talking to, he's a Seattle guy. He's from Seattle. He's a big fan, and he actually went to one of the games a couple weeks ago.
Hmm.
And we were talking about uh, San Francisco, and I was like, tell me what you think of this. Do you think it's a coincidence that they always get hurt, or do you think it's the way Shanahan runs his practices, and like maybe he's just too old school? Like, we practice every day, we just run you into the ground, and then
Hmm.
everyone is just hurt and banged up, and he just doesn't care. He's like,
Hmm.
I don't care. You gotta be ready for the game. And maybe that's just like, I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, but it was just a theory
Did
I was kind of
what did
spinning.
what did he think? Did he, as a Seattle
He liked it.
fan?
I mean, he
Yeah.
loved it because he's a Seattle fan. So he was just like, from his perspective, he was saying that like they're always very competent, but he feels like they have the reputation of choking. Like
Yeah.
Shanahan can't win the big one,
Yeah.
and he can't win big games or whatever. Even though he's been to two Super Bowls, you know.
Yeah, and they've
Um,
had great teams over the years, but yeah, they haven't won the big one. But that always happens before, Peyton Manning does it. Before you win the big one, sometimes that happens. You
yeah,
get there, you're still really good. Um,
like Andy Reid.
was your friend devastated that Darnold had like the worst game of his and like kind of lost his game for them? He throw 4 picks in this one. Yeah,
Yes, yeah, it was bad. He was the Rams look pretty good. Yeah, he was. What else? I mean, thank God Kenneth Walker got a touchdown for me. That was great. I remember that from this game, but
yeah,
it was, yeah, the I mean, that looks like those two are going to be playoff. That might be a playoff matchup. And that's like two of the better teams I think the Eagles will have to play as well. Or those two teams. Like, that was a really good matchup. I think, honestly, if nothing else, um, we said this at the end of like, um, he had 4 picks and they only lost by 2 points.
yeah.
You know,
Their
like,
defense is great. The
yeah,
Seattle's defense, I think, is really I'd say almost top 5 in the league, somewhere in that ballpark of
yeah.
defenses. Yeah.
So I mean, that was a good game. I think that one felt like just very gritty, if I remember. I don't remember a ton from it, if I'm being honest. But I think even more impressive, I think, is the Denver over KC. People were really like,
Bo Nix,
I think
man.
people,
Yeah, Bo Nix at the end. But it's really the defense. Again, defense again. There's a lot of defense, good defenses this year.
yeah,
Denver definitely. They made Mahomes look not great. And they're what,
yeah.
5-5 now, which is
Something like that, which is crazy because Kansas City had some really strong Super Bowl odds still. I do think that was one of their tougher matchups because it's divisional too. Not
hmm
only do they have a good defense, it's divisional and they know each other very well.
yeah,
So there's like you kind of the little tricks and stuff don't always work when the other team is like scouted and ready for your personnel and that kind of
yeah.
stuff. Um, but yeah, Denver defense is awesome. The fun stat Denver's defense has more sacks through what is this 13 14 weeks? What are we at? Week 11? No, week 11, I'm sorry. They have more sacks to 10 weeks than any team since like 1986 when they
Is
started
that
tracking.
right? Wow.
Yeah.
It's
But it's
Bonito. This
funny though.
Bonito, dude. Bonito has been
Yeah.
Nick Bonito has been amazing for them. Like, I think he might be
Here we
leading.
go.
Oh, he's up there. Oh, Miles Garrett. No, Miles Garrett's been crazy.
Yeah. But
I
I
will say
think for
this.
Denver it's a team effort. Like they're all doing crazy blitzes.
Well, I was going to say this. The sack numbers can be deceiving. Now, Miles Garrett is not deceiving. That is just he's having an incredible
Yeah.
year. I've seen some of the highlights, but some of these, like Nick Bonito, I'll say this about him. His pressure will force a quarterback to step up in the pocket, and then a
Mhm.
teammate gets the sack. But he's the one creating that pressure,
Yep.
creating the sacks, and so looking at leading sacks is helpful, but not the only story for him being a great rusher, I feel like. So it's impressive that he's up there, but I think even beyond that, he's had a bigger impact on their defense. Do they have pressures here? I don't know if
Not on
that's more of
this. I
a,
think we'd have to go into like Pro Football
and I don't even
Focus
know
or
how they
something.
even qualify pressures, like
Here's
um
Cooper's their other guy, their other edge player, Jonathan Cooper,
he's good, yeah.
is the other linebacker. He's top 10 as well. But yeah, I think it's just a very good scheme as well. And the fact that they have, Sertan
hmm
and some good coverage in the backside. Um, let me just double check. I actually want to can you still see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can see you. I can hear you. Yep.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. On my end, there was a little bit of a technical thing. It looks like we're both still recording, but they just had a little pop up there for a second.
It all
Anyway,
looks good
um,
over here. Yeah. No problem here.
nice. Okay, cool. Um, but yeah, for Denver, defense is awesome, and then even this next one is Cleveland. Their defense is awesome. In Baltimore, I feel like they just kind of squeezed it out. Did you watch this much?
Mm-mm. No, I didn't see too much of this one. Because
It's
yeah.
it,
Well, I was gonna say
it
it felt like
was.
Lamar was kind of disappointing though, right?
Mhm.
Didn't he?
Yes, exactly. It was Lamar was disappointing. Him and Herbert, I think, were the two biggest disappointing quarterback plays, at least for me personally, because I have them both in different leagues. But they each had like 4 or 5 points, something like that. And but I think Derrick Henry did solid, and I think it was a very defensive game,
hmm
um, but for both of them. So that kind of clicked in, and then Birds Detroit. Did you watch the whole thing? We locked in for it.
Oh yeah, locked the F in. It
Nice.
felt so similar to the Packers game, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't it feel like just like the Packers game? I felt like I watched the same game over again, except add in the Eagles desperately trying to get the ball to AJ Brown. That's the only difference. Is they were like,
Mm-hmm.
here's a screen pass, didn't work. Here's like your slant route, or here's like a deep ball. Here's like a deep out route, and AJ Brown doesn't look locked in at all. He doesn't look locked in. Um, that's what the
I don't know
big
what it
talking points
is.
are. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like he's upset that he wasn't getting the ball, and then when he is getting the ball, he's like still upset.
Yeah. I mean, thank
mm,
God we're winning. If we weren't winning, it'd be just like mayhem.
devastating.
But you
I
know who's been amazing is um getting Phillips.
dude,
Oh my God,
oh, Jalen
dude,
Phillips. Jalen Phillips.
Jalen Phillips. Oh,
Oh,
he's been awesome. What a breath of fresh air. He's so excited. He's happy to be there. He's got a crazy motor, and he's like affecting. Feels like every play. Jordan Davis had a great game with the
he's
batted passes.
he's looking
Oh
great. And Jalen Carter, and the way their post game, even like they're all like you're saying, they're positive. They're like, we're a team. They're like
yeah,
Quinyon Mitchell got interviewed. You had a great performance. You locked down Amon-Ra St. Brown. What was it like? We're all playing together as a team. It starts with the guys up front. Like they're saying all the right things, and it seems like they genuinely mean it. Because sometimes it's just lip service, and like, but all of them are kind of repeating and reiterating the same thing. So the defense is great vibes. The offense is like the worst vibes possible. Like the
yeah,
offense is like the opposite. They're like two different teams almost, except for Saquon. Um,
yeah.
and kind of the offensive line, but even the offensive line seems kind of pissed off this year. Um, they're
Yeah, it's
just
just kind of Mulata feels like the only like true like day in, day out. He's there. I think Dickerson's phenomenal too, but he gets banged up and he'll kind of leave.
mhm.
But when he's in there, he's solid. And then yeah, Lane left the game. Um
Yeah,
Steen's doing he's touching his hands on the
the
tush push
encroachment.
kind of thing.
Yeah, the
Yep.
encroachment call. He's trying to get the
Yeah.
offsides, and he's probably coached to do that. He really
Yeah.
looked like my coach told me to do this. I don't get
Yeah.
why. Yeah, he and that kind of
And
they
then
did say on the broadcast that that should have been go the other way, but
yeah.
he
And
looks
then Cam
fine.
Jurgens, I think, left, right? Was it this game? Or maybe just last game. Toth was in there.
Hmm.
He's kind of in and out of the lineup for a couple. So yeah, just to your point
Lane's
of the
out
offensive line.
4 to 6 weeks, so probably not till like the end of the year or the playoffs for Lane. So it's going to be Fred
Yeah,
Johnson again, which kind of makes our six lineman sets go away a little bit, where they were putting him at
yeah.
tight end basically to get like six linemen on the field. So our heavy sets are kind of gone if Lane's not playing, unless you want to put Toth out there, I guess. The defense looks incredible. I just love watching the defense play. Um,
Oh, they're so fun. And you know what I realized? That like we were talking a lot about some of the linebackers and like the rotation with Dean coming back and having Campbell and having Bond.
Dean,
But what I realized is they have just transitioned into a 4-3 with those guys. They can just, if they want, they can just have those three with the edge guys and then the two D tackles and just kind of have this amazing
they
4-3
can do
if they want it.
whatever.
They don't.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like you kind of they morph into it pre and post snap. It seems like so
Yeah.
it is a really multiple defense, and I think that's kind of the genius of like a 3-4 is like you're kind of not sure who's coming and who's going. And it
Right.
kind of can look like a 4-3. It's not, it's such a departure from the Eagles wide nine for so many years when it was
Right.
always the wide ends, the
Yep.
two in the middle and the three linebackers. It's such a
And
departure from that.
you knew everyone's responsibility pre-snap. You're like, and you're kind of just like, the whole mentality was like, we know what we're going to do. You know what we're going to do. Stop it kind
Hmm.
of thing was kind of the feeling. But
It was the
yeah, I
angles.
feel
It was
like,
the angles of the wide nine, which
yeah,
were like, and now this is much more confusion. There's so many like nuance stunts, and on the back coverage it's connected with if we're stunting over here, that means we cross coverage a cloud zone to the spot that they're not coming from. But then if his hot route is here, that means you buzz off that way if your guy doesn't go. So there's so much nuance to this defense that like you know what I've noticed that I don't think I've recognized playing. This is why I like the wide shot too. He has the two high safeties in the defense, and then the corner. So there's four wide. There's four defensive backs playing, and each safety is looking at the opposite side of the field for crossing routes so that they have leverage to pick up the crossing route coming across. And
Yeah.
the way that they pass off routes and use that leverage, basically, they know if a crossing route is coming into my zone, I have the advantage because they have to come into where I already own this space. And
Yeah.
they pass off and use their own space in zone coverage and match coverages incredibly well. And it's so fun to watch the way they're playing right now.
Honestly, one of the most encouraging things from this game specifically was Dean in coverage. He has never been that good. He covered Gibbs and Jamison Williams,
Yeah.
the two fastest people in the NFL, like seemingly,
Mhm.
on a wheel route and a crossing route, and then he blew up Montgomery. So he kept with the speed guys, and then he blew up the power
Strip
guy
sack too.
for,
Strip
yeah,
sack too.
like it's crazy because it almost feels like they kind of like drafted his replacement, and then he's just like lit a fire under his ass, and he's like even more motivated. It's like, oh man,
I said this
I
earlier.
hope we keep them.
I said this earlier. He because we said this in the beginning of the year. One of his greatest strengths is his film study and his play
Yeah,
recognition, and it makes him look faster on the field because he's
yeah,
committing to where he needs to be before anybody else because he knows
yeah,
what's going to happen. And like we talked about, like if somebody's coming into your zone, he knows then the routes that are going to hurt him the most and to be looking out for them, like that halfback wheel route
mm-hmm,
on the Jahmyr Gibbs. He knew that was what he needed to be covered, and the crossing route of Jamison Williams coming across the middle. He plays those zones so well, and his anticipation of his blitzes, the way he knows like the snap counts and like whatever it is, the energy of the quarterback that he knows when the count's coming. He is full speed when they call hike and blitzing through the line at such a
mm-hmm.
fast rate that even if he doesn't make the play, he's blowing up the play and making it difficult for the blocking scheme. And he's disruptive. So he has been awesome, and he just looks healthy again. He looks healthy.
Yeah. He looks healthy. You're right. It's so much like he's already up to full. He looks so much more powerful, even
Mhm,
though he's smaller,
mhm.
because he's already built up his momentum before the other person is even like looking to engage or whatever. And then so that way he comes at that, especially that running back with that full head of steam. I also looked up here. The amazing thing is the Eagles are the youngest defense in the league by average
Incredible.
age,
Yeah.
which is really awesome. Their average 24 years old, 24 and a half for each player, which is really cool that they're playing so well,
I
and kind
think
of
this
maintaining.
year more than ever has shown, because I'll get into the offense here. Jalen Hurts recognizes how good they are and is like, I am not going to turn the ball over. I'm
Yeah,
just not going to turn the ball over. I'm not going to do the 50-50 balls to you, AJ. I'm not going to throw the ball like I'm not going to I'm not going to put the ball in danger. And so it's led to a very boring conservative offense.
yep,
But but we're winning games. We are winning games, and he's just not like I think that's the Eagles and Nick Sirianni's number one coaching point is like win the turnover battle, because some of these teams have 400, 500 yards and they don't score in the red zone, and they turn the ball over. And that's what the Eagles, the only thing they care about is short yardage in red zone and don't turn the ball over. Everything else is pretty much horrible, like pretty
yeah,
bad. With the run scheme has looked bad, the passing has looked bad. The only things they do well is like in the red zone, they have some good schemes, and obviously the tush push less effective in this game, which that's something where the kind of storyline of the Lions were the only team in the NFC that voted for the tush push to stay, and they're the only ones that seemingly can
mm,
stop it. So Dan
mm.
Campbell
Oh, that's
was kind
interesting.
of like, "Hey, let them run it. Let's try to beat it and be men kind of about it. Let's
Yeah,
let's actually beat it. And they actually could. They did stop it. And they looked good doing
Yeah.
it. So hats off to them.
That was pretty. Yeah, that was it. They did stop. They stopped it twice, I think, right on one of the drives, and they were wild though because they ended up. I think one of the stories of the game too, just the way it played out, was Detroit not converting on fourth downs and also going for a lot of fourth downs.
Five of them.
Yeah,
Over five.
and now I did bury the lead here a little bit, Alex. I had some fun pregame shenanigans. I had Forbes, huge Detroit Lions fan,
Oh,
text me.
yes.
He
Yeah.
texted me and goes, "This is like this is during like the 10 o'clock games, the early window." He goes, "You ready to get your ass handed to you? Are you ready? Are you ready?" He goes, "I don't think Goff and Amon-Ra play the fourth. I think it's too big a blowout. I think it's." He's like, he had some really really great he just came in just guns a blazing. Also had some really great tips on some editing software and stuff like that for us. Really
Oh,
fun.
shout out.
But um the just absolute gem that came out of the whole trash talk was he is looking to come out to a Detroit Rams game in LA. And
Oh,
so
nice.
he was asking if I wanted to go and get together, and we were chatting about potentially doing that in December. And as we're chatting about that, he goes, "Whoever team loses, we'll make a bet. Loser has to pay for dinner one night." So we did a dinner bet on this game. So
So now you got to go, you got to get together,
yeah,
get your dinner. Yeah.
yeah. And so as soon as the game ends, he goes, "Good game." And he texts it like right after. And I'm with the Friendsgiving with like Ken and Ryan, Casey, some of the other guys, and Kyle as well. And I ask them all, I go, "What's the most expensive places you guys know in LA for dinner?" And I texted him 3 restaurants, and I go, "I made reservations at each just in case." so now so now we got dinner plans. And then I did like I like said something like, "LOL, we could always do In and Out," or something like that. But some fun. So it just came out of the blue too. He was really excited for that game, and I think he was pretty bummed by the end.
Yeah, because their
Yeah,
offense looked horrible. The Eagles defense made him made
yeah,
Goff look like the guy that that the Rams had to trade away,
yeah.
Um,
The batted balls were great. I think there was a few of those,
took
and
away
they
their
just
whole
were
quick
ready.
passing game. They couldn't do the quick
Yeah,
passing game.
yeah.
And if they're batting balls, it's like it takes away a whole section of the field. And so he's probably thinking about that, and he's probably pumping and holding it longer. It just rattled
I
him.
I thought that Jameis Winston touchdown might open the game up a bit. When that happened, there was the
Jamison
JMO.
Williams. Jamison Williams.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you
What'd I
said
say?
Jameis Winston, the quarterback.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Williams, sorry.
Yep.
Um, when that touchdown happened, I thought that might open the game up, but they were unaffected, and
Yeah.
it wasn't even like the offense looked super motivated after. They kind of just kept going as they were. But I mean, a win is a win is a win is a win. So, really, really awesome. The defense, Phillips is awesome. Jordan Davis looked great. Cooper had the pick, obviously. That was
Oh,
great.
off the
Um,
tip. Yeah, that's when I thought they were really. There was a point where I'm like, we should be up by 20 by now, and the
yeah,
offense, the offense was getting the ball on their own, the opponents on that interception was 12-yard line. They couldn't get 12
yeah,
yards, and then on the
yeah.
40-yard line, you know, on the
On the
other
fourth
teams,
down.
yeah,
Yeah.
they just couldn't capitalize on the defense's stops. It
Yeah.
was
Now, did you watch this Dallas Vegas at all? I unfortunately saw some of it, and I wish I watched the Sixers instead.
I
I
watched
wish.
all of the Sixers, and then when the Sixers game ended, I kind of watched some of the end of this, and it was sad, and I didn't really
It
watch
was
too much of it. I watched Sixers
very sad.
instead. Good Sixers game,
Yeah.
huh? I mean, good Sixers game, but
Sixers are great. Yeah, they're really fun. Really, really fun. Maxi's the best. VJ's incredible, and then a lot of likable stuff around it. And Paul George is back, which is kind of cool.
He was
But
fine. Yeah, he was fine.
yeah,
His
he was
debut back.
fine. It's not just the fact that he came back was somewhat noteworthy, but it doesn't contribute to my excitement to the team. The other
That's right.
stuff does. Yeah,
Definitely the young guys. Yeah, the young Bucks.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
But
Dallas
Dallas,
and Las
yeah,
Vegas played a football game. They played a
yeah.
football game. Pete
Did
Carroll
you see
looked
the
sad.
shenanigans? Did you
With
see the
shenanigans.
shenanigans before where both CD and Pickens did not they were on the sideline for the first drive. Um so
Didn't see
apparently
that.
I think they were out late in Vegas the night before.
Ah,
And so it was
wow, if
like
they lost the game, if
yeah,
they lost the game, that would have been brutal. The night
yeah.
before, do it the night after, fellas. Jeez.
Apparently I don't know how credible this is, but some resource on Instagram or social media somewhere said that CD Lamb was spotted at like 7 a.m. at like at like the day
Coach,
of the
game's not
game.
too late. Yeah. Or whatever,
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, well, it was a night game, but still, it being at like 7 a.m. at like a blackjack table is ridiculous, crazy.
Sure, blackjack. Yeah, that's where he was.
Yeah. Yeah. um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, Pickens had a good fantasy day. That was noteworthy. Dak had a good fantasy day. I think CD was a little underwhelming, and then Genty, God bless him. I think Chip Kelly might get fired. Who knows? That looks kind of bad. Pete Carroll might be gone.
He
It's
looks
the vibes are pretty bad.
the the interview coming out of halftime, I think it was. Or no, going into halftime. So sad. Pete
Really?
Carroll, yeah, the woman is like really hounding him. She goes, "Can you give me specifics?" And he's like trying to do the coach thing, or like they're not trying to give too much information. And he's like,
Yeah.
"Specifics." He just was like, like yeah, like fucking.
Just
And it's
exacerbated. He just
yeah,
couldn't even.
Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's like usually such a positive guy. He's got the gum and all that. It looked like a far departure from that. Um,
Oh, that's a shame because he's classically like such a great attitude. That's his whole thing, and for him
mm,
to be like downtrodden is really sad. It's
yeah,
really really sad.
he's old.
Oh, it's
Enjoy
a
your
bummer.
retirement, dude. You're good.
Yeah.
You had a great career. you know,
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm pumped. We got through the games here.
sure did.
You took it on the pick'ems here, but I know. Do we dive into a little bit of the travels at all on
Sure. Yeah.
some
You
of this stuff?
want to hear about the moon? Want to hear about the old honey pot?
Oh yeah. I do think we should dip in since you went to London here. We have to mention AJ wrote in, and I want to bring it up, but we were asking for team name ideas and a kind of a vibe for the team, and he came up with the London Tea Bags.
Love
Is
it.
the team name
It's
here?
so good.
Is just fantastic. And so, what do you think? You went to what was it? A football game, not American.
I went to a European
Um,
football game. That's right. I went
there
to
you go.
so this is in Norwich. And so it's spelled Norwich, but it's Norwich. You don't know W basically, Norwich. So
Mm-hmm.
Norwich City Canaries, baby. The
Love
Canaries.
it.
Little yellow bird. They are yellow, like a they're like a line. You know what? I should have wore the shirt. That was a real mistake. I bought a shirt. I got a shirt. I got a hat for Andrew. Andrew, the reason I got this hat, Andrew texted me and he goes, "Hey, you're in the UK." He's talking about getting together, and I go, "I can't. I'm in the UK right now. I'm actually going to see Peter's restaurant, which I'll talk about that." Uh,
Oh,
but 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 he goes, "Oh, that's awesome. Have so much fun." And then like 5-10 minutes later, I get a text. He sends me a link basically to this type of hat. He goes, "Could you get me one of these types of hats? I'll pay you back." But they're great quality out there. And so I got them. I was at the Canaries gift shop. Uh, and
hell
so I
yeah.
got him an official Canaries hat. It looks just like this, but it's more like checkered. This is like one color. I got this one in Italy. You can't tell if it's a green. Um, the color is kind of rough. I got a hat for Andrew, so I kind of wore that in, and I had my shirt, and we we sat right next to the away section. So they played Hull City. And this is in the same league as like think like Rob McElhenney's Wrexham. Like they are I think it's called the Champions League, so it's right below the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
So they're the league down. And I looked it up. They haven't been good since the 90s. When
Uh-oh.
they were in the Premier League, they finished third in the Premier League, in the top league in the 90s. So since then, they haven't
Mm.
really been very good. Now they're a real bottom feeder.
Oh, no.
They're the 23rd out of 24 teams.
They get relegated?
We hope not, Jake. Come on, Canaries we got some season left. They're playing Hull City, which Hull City's like 15th. They're ranked like 15th. The section was right next to us. There's a plexiglass wall in between us,
Oh
and
my God.
and this is where we can kind of get into the culture stuff between
I love it.
UK football and American football and the London Teabags, because we might need some plexiglass, because they had this small section, and their chants are just so much better than American chants. Just
Yeah.
their songs, they're full on songs. Just like Ted Lasso, they're yelling wanker at the refs. They're yelling
Yeah.
wanker at everybody. It's just excellent. Um, there was this kid. We had pretty good seats. I sent you. Did you get the videos I sent you of? We were right by like middle to the end, where we were right by where the corner kicks are. So there's a couple corner kicks right in front of us, and because Hull City, they ended up winning 2-1. Or no, maybe two not. Yeah, they scored 2 goals. I think it was 2-0 actually, and and because we were right in front of the away section, they got to cheer right in front of us. The guys are doing the sleepers. The cheering is so much better. I didn't really care too much. Like obviously go Canaries, but
Yeah.
Hull City, they are like cheer. They're like jumping up and cheering right in front of us. I got some great videos of these guys, and
Oh, no, I
it's
didn't get these.
I'll send them to you.
Yeah.
And the seats are closer too. So it's like these guys are right in front of us, like, "Huzzah!" And then everybody comes and crowds this guy. They're all doing this sleeper to everybody. The crowd is going crazy next to us. And then the the next closest section of Canary fans, they're going back and forth cheering at each other like rank back and forth to one another. And so the sections are fighting with each other. So they have police lined up around all of the away section because they know that's where it's going to break out. And they're all just staring at the whole city. And they like doubled up the security at the end of the game so that they wouldn't do anything and there wouldn't be any fights. And they again, this is right next to us, so we were right by all of this action. I saw a small British child with a shaved heads, shaved on both sides of his head, and just a mullet down the middle with a ponytail pulled up. And this dad was indoctrinating this kid. Like this was some great, like really good. He's lifting him up and like, and the kid's doing the cheers. This video of this kid, he looks like a small little Viking. You know how the Vikings look? He looked like a small little Viking. Primal, dude, primal sounds coming out of this kid. Really primal, yelling at the referees, yelling at the players, yelling for the goals. I saw like the veins in his neck because he was right on the plexiglass. He was like just a couple seats away from us, with just plexiglass in front, like between us. And
Oh.
and this kid, the dad is lifting him up in the air, and the kid is yelling, neck, little tiny Viking yelling at the crowd. It was a wild experience. It was great. So I think if we get the tea bags going, I think we
Mm.
got to get like guided cheers to like so they
Oh.
learn the new
Well,
cheers. You know what I mean?
actually, you know, I'm actually I pulled it up while you were chatting there. The message AJ sent to me. I'll read it to you because a lot of good stuff in here, and it's pretty. It's a good little. It fits right in to what you're chatting about. So he's got London Tea Bags team name. And then we got in quotes we came across the pond and got teabagged. You know, so that would be what people would have to, if they lose, they get teabagged. Now merch would sell out in minutes. Ultimate branding opportunities. He said Lipton already a team sponsor.
Yep.
So we get the teas. We get the teas
Earl Grey.
involved.
We get an Earl Grey, a chamomile.
Are you ready? I like this a lot. This is probably might be my favorite part, but the stadium is called the Kettle Pot. You go into the Kettle Pot.
Yeah.
And you get teabagged. And then the team rally cry would be, in quotes, no one comes on the pot without getting teabagged. Is the rally cry. And then so we've got
I'm already seeing
that's a lot of good stuff.
There's like a tea in a bag, just like some of the knockoff shirts that they sell around the stadium.
Yeah, people
tea. It's bag. Tea.
Yeah,
bag,
it's like defense. It's like the defense.
Exactly. But now we need, again, these guys had chants. They had songs.
Yeah.
They had there was rhythm to it. There was energy to it. And they're doing it throughout the whole game. Like they're doing it like it's 0-0. And the Canaries played a great first half. They had so many more shots on goal. They were attacking. And I'll tell you what, I think Fisher is a nobody. I think he's a never was. And I'm glad they got him out in the 67th minute because he had no heart. He played with nothing. And I don't think he's very good. I think we need to demote him because what I really want to do is I want to start up a FIFA. I want to buy FIFA. I want to get a new console. And I want to, like we do the Madden franchises, I want to do a Canaries.
Oh, Alex, I've got a little, since we're chatting video games, a little breakthrough that I have realized. The realization has happened where on the Switch 2, they have now released Madden. So it is now portable Madden. Isn't that, the younger version of me is just
not good. That's not good for my productivity.
Imagine flights though. You know what I mean? You could just do quick little chies.
Because you don't need to play the game. You're just sorting through the roster management of it all. You know, that's all you need to do.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
And you can play the game. Of course, you can play if you want to. You know, you can do whatever you want. You can live your life.
You can live your life.
But pretty fun. Okay, well, I love that. So we got to come up with songs for the tea bags. Now, is there anything else?
Yeah, sorry. Another thing, concessions. Okay, concessions because they were sponsored by Willie's Pies. Willie's Pies was behind us, and I'll say this: this is what I don't want in in the kettle pot. I don't want this in the kettle pot.
No, Willie's Pies.
No, I loved Willie's Pies. Willie's, and they do like pot pies because it's so much like a shepherd's pie. Willie's pie, so they like shepherd. So it's like little meat pies that they do. They had a vegetarian one for Mom and Spice, but they do beers. You can't bring your beer into your seat. You have to chug your beer. So here's what I was mad about. Here's what I don't like.
Whoa.
We leave at halftime as quickly as you can leave. I couldn't have left earlier. As soon as this half ended, go to the bathroom, get in line at Willie's Pies, get my little meat pie, get a beer.
And you've got this hat, right? You've got the other hat?
I got the other hat. It's got a little canary on it, and it's kind of like more checkered and stuff.
Incredible.
I got a shirt that says it too. And, you know, I'm in it, baby. I'm a Canary fan. Go Norwich. At Norwich City. And, dude, the second half started so quickly. I took a piss. I waited in line and I got a pie. I had to chug my beer because I couldn't bring it to our seat. And we missed the first goal that Hull City. I mean, it was Hull City. So we were like, but I watched it on TV and we watched the replay. And because of where our seats were, where they went to go celebrate, you could see the three empty seats. Our three empty seats in the replay. Well, they scored a second one, and we got to see it right in front of us.
Yeah.
Dude, they gave us no fucking time, and you can't bring your
Yeah.
beer out there like to your
There's
seat.
gotta be a story behind that. I'm
Well, you can't
sure
bring your
there's
cup.
been
Like, you know how like at the stadiums they pour it out and they give you a plastic cup and then they give it
yeah.
to you. You know what I think it is? You're so much closer on the field than like an NFL
Mm,
game where there's distance,
right.
where it's harder to throw it onto the field.
Right.
So that's what I think it might be. But I think there's some branding opportunities, or we could get more of the like Willie's Pies. We could get fish and chips there. We could at the
Yeah.
concession
Oh.
stands. We could get some more English food. I think the meat pies and fish and chips travel well during an
Oh,
American football game. You know what I mean?
it would hit so hard. Fish and chips during a game would
Yeah.
be incredible. It would be
And
so
you could
good.
that's like
That
finger
would
food.
be
You could
awesome.
even just like grab a fish and
You know
chip,
what we could
dip
do?
it, and
We
eat it.
could also with tea, if you've got tea going around, we got a bunch of tea, and we've got the tea going around. Everyone's drinking tea. Maybe biscuits. I don't know. I'm brainstorming.
Dude,
Maybe
yes,
biscuits. Maybe tea
yes,
and biscuits. Maybe
yes.
there's like a, you know what I mean? And you just got, and we could get sponsored by, what are those? I mean, there's a few biscuit
Biscoff,
companies.
Biscoff.
Biscoff. Yeah, yeah,
Biscoff on
yeah,
the planes. They're
yeah.
handing them out on American
Yes,
Airlines.
yes.
I know
And
exactly what you mean. Biscoff would
yep,
be perfect. There's a couple
that would be
other
good.
good ones. We even might dive into some like hot toddies. You know what I mean? That we're
Yeah.
serving at the game. We're kind of in the tea, maybe an
Uh-huh.
alcoholic tea drink. Oh, Mike's Hard, the lemonades, but isn't there a twisted teas?
Twisted tea, yes.
Like
The twisted
alcoholic teas,
teas.
you know what I mean? We somewhere in
Yes.
there we kinda get going. There's
That would be
some
fantastic.
crossover, I
Um,
think, you know?
yeah. Oh my God. And then there's like kind of like a seventh inning stretch, but there's like a tea time. We take a tea
Oh,
time.
yes, I
There's a
love
tea
that.
time, you know?
Oh, tea time. Oh,
Oh
man,
man.
that would be great because that's, like, in between maybe, like, the 3rd and 4th quarter. It's like a mini
Oh,
break,
what
you
if,
know?
Alex, this is a
Tea
great
time.
marketing. This is a great marketing so that we move more products, we move more tea. Whenever there's a timeout, everyone goes, take a tea. Take a tea.
Take a
You
tea.
take a tea.
Take a
You
tea.
take a
Take
tea.
a tea.
Take a tea.
Even the head coach, we are so ingrained with the whole culture, just like Jeffrey Lurie, it's all top
Yeah.
down. We're the
Yep.
owners.
Yep.
We know the coach so well. The coach goes, he looks at the stadium, he goes, and he's
And
into the
he's in
taking the
it.
tea. He
Yeah.
goes, I
You
got to use
never.
my time out here, and he's
Yeah.
branded. Yeah. Oh,
Everyone.
that's
Everyone takes a tea. Everyone
tea.
takes a tea.
Take a tea.
Tea.
Take a tea.
Take a tea. Yeah. It's kind of like, like bricking for chicken, where people are just like,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
they're
Yeah.
kind of like losing their minds for this like super small promotion.
And then we play a lot of Beatles. We play a lot of Beatles.
Oh yeah.
English.
Abbey Road.
We play a lot of Abbey Road. We play a lot of the Stones are British, or the
Huh?
Rolling Stones British. Yep.
I think
And we
so.
we play a lot. We get a lot of British
Oh.
bands going. You know what I mean?
Oh, we do Crazy Train. Ozzy
Oz.
Osbourne.
Oh, Oz just passed too. Mm.
I
Well, I think
know.
everybody kind of uses them, but Black
Yeah, I guess
Sabbath,
Crazy
right?
Train's pretty played, huh? I guess a lot of people do that. Is there any tea related I don't know. Oh my God, we can invite the Queen.
Well,
Invite the
there's like
Queen.
so we would probably be rivals with the Patriots, right? Because it's the Boston Tea
Yes, yeah.
Party, right? There's Boston Tea
Yes.
Party,
The Boston Tea Party is like our when we go to visit, we
and we
yeah, although that
come
would be
in.
brutal. We have
They're
to
throwing our tea away. They'd probably do
yeah,
that a lot. So we hate
yeah,
Boston a lot, I
yeah,
think, because
yeah.
they're trying to
The
be us.
Patriots.
Oh,
Yeah.
Big Ben, dude. There's a Big Ben. Something Big Ben. That's the
Mm-hmm.
clock, dude. That is the game clock, is a Big Ben replica.
Oh,
The game clock
what if
is
the
a
uniforms
Big
are red
Ben.
coats?
Yes, Jake. Yes.
Yes.
Fuck yes.
We got Big Ben. Oh,
Uh-huh.
Alex, I got to tell you, this is perfect. This is so
Uh-huh.
perfect. It might actually be maybe anti this conversation, but we're doing Friendsgiving. We watched the Philly Detroit game, and it kind of splits off into the guys and the girls, and the girls are kind of chatting,
Yeah,
and they're kind
that
of
type
going.
of game will do that.
Yeah, yeah. So we're watching the Eagles game, and they're kind of hanging out. They're drinking wine. They're kind of just chatting about life stuff, and they're kind of catching up. The game ends, and Ken just kind of looks over, hears the conversation, and he just goes, "You want to watch The Patriot?" It's with Mel Gibson from 2000, and it's incredible. There's like five of us, and we're watching it. It's like a 2.5 hour
You
movie
guys put it
that
on? You did watch it?
we watched an hour and a half of it, and we watched. And dude, I mean, I don't know. Have you seen it? Have you seen The Patriot, or do you
Not
remember?
not in a very long time. Not in a
Yeah,
very long time. I mean, I know the
I
big.
don't think I'd seen it, maybe just parts, but it just starts with the American Revolution and the British invading,
Mhm.
and then Mel Gibson's like he was like he lost his mind and was just a psychopath killer in the French Indian War. And so this time around he's like, guys, I really don't want to fight. And then the British, kill his son in like the opening scene, like one of the opening scenes, and he just goes full. He starts a militia, and then he is doing guerrilla warfare, and
Yep.
it's just like, and it's lit like, do you mind if I spoil this
Yeah,
25-year-old
go ahead.
movie at all?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so
No, I don't. No, I
he
don't.
then the climactic scene is like they kind of like retreat, um, and fall back, and there's some cannon fire, and then people are kind of falling back, and Mel Gibson just sees that the British are wavering, and his men are falling back. And so he just gets an American flag and runs through a battlefield, and he's got like a long ponytail. Think of
Mhm.
like just a colonial, like
Yep.
Quaker or something,
Yep.
like, and he's just running with this thing, and it just goes through the middle of the battlefield, and it's just like, clearly they had made, what was it, There Can Only Be One Highlander, whatever
Yep.
the
Hi
Scottish, and
Highlander, yep.
yeah, Highlander, and they just were like, let's capitalize on this, except just do an American version. And
Yeah,
just like,
yep. Yeah.
it's oh, but man, the testosterone was just coursing through, and anyway, they had the redcoats, and so the redcoats were there, and
Now, did they
yeah,
talk about in the movie the redcoats, they don't show blood, they don't show blood. That's why you
that's
get the
true.
red coats, you get the red jerseys, they're not gonna show blood
Yep.
on our uniforms, and, we can get away with some dirty stuff, I think. We can really
Yeah.
be a filthy team, our teabags team. Yeah, I'm
I think
thinking
it's
of,
great.
like,
I mean,
yeah.
those hats right there that you've got on, I think that we sell those instead of like other hats. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
so perfectly like it's so unique. No one else has that in the league. Plus, I'm just picturing, how they always have the like the intros of players, like all our players are just like in like English style shit. You know what I mean? Like the long peacoats and shit.
All of the font, Jake, the font for the jerseys is Old English. It's all Old
Yes, yeah.
English, and,
Yes.
what if we have a British commentator? Well, no, we wouldn't have control over that, I guess, because they have their
Well,
network
the
commentators.
PA guy, the
In the
stadium
stadium,
guy.
we have that guy. We have that guy under
Yeah,
control. Okay, we can
yeah, he's gonna be,
get some
yeah,
Brits in there.
and yeah, we could still get some Brits in the, like when they do the home cast. I guess it's for basketball they do that, but they have the home broadcasters. But
We
we
could
could do
probably
our
we
own.
we could maybe negotiate that as when we're owners, we'll negotiate that so that how the
Yeah.
Mannings have a broadcast, it's like an alternate
Hmm.
broadcast. Maybe there's an
Yeah,
alternate broadcast we could
through the BBC.
yes, yes, to the
Through the
BBC,
BBC.
to the
Yes.
BBC. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, yeah. And
Oh
we have
my
we have an
gosh.
Eye of London ride in the
Oh,
back, so you can kind of see the stadium through the eye. So that's like it's like a miniature version of it that the
yeah.
kids can
But
go
you
on.
can it kind of it pops up right towards the last row of the stands. So if
Mhm.
you're in it, you can see into the stadium. You
Yep,
can see into the stadium. You
yep. And
can't. You can see it.
oh,
Just and also the broadcast kind of shows the Big Ben clock.
Mhm.
alongside of the eye kind of rotating around as
They
well.
do that, that zoom shot they do of like the kind of zoom out of the skyline. Like, here we are in Philadelphia, and we got the Rocky
Yeah.
Steps. We always go there right before
Liberty
the game.
Bell. Yeah,
There's
yeah,
the Liberty Bell. Yeah, so that would
yeah.
be part of that shot. Is
Oh,
like
yeah.
yeah,
And I guess we could do the press box. The press box looks like the bridge, the
the
London
Tower Bridge.
Bridge.
Yeah, yep, yep.
Yes, the Tower Bridge. So it looks like there's towers on both sides of the press box, and
Yeah.
then there's like the similar kind of
What if we get
setup.
some? What if we get a full-on frigate in the back? We get a full-on
Like the
frigate.
Buccaneers, like with the
Yeah, like the
Buccaneers.
Buccaneers. Yeah, exactly, like the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers already have the boat.
Just
Shit.
an
Oh,
old
that's right.
galleon. An old
Yeah,
galleon.
just a nod to the old colonial days of
Yeah.
the British
There you
pound
go.
being the backed world reserve. Huh?
I love it. Oh, that's great. Oh, okay. Wow. We got a lot of good shit here. This
I
is it's
think
really coming together.
I think we could really design this. I think we could really get this up and going here.
I think we really hit. Okay, so great. We hit that. Is there anything else from the travels? We're going long, but we knew this was going to be the case.
It's getting late here. It's 10:40 here, but yeah, dude. I mean, I had a great time. I mean, just talking about the trip. So I did 4 days in the UK. The first day, speaking of like football and Americanization, went to Richmond and saw the Ted Lasso bar. I sent you those pictures, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was awesome. That was so cool. And that's next to Peter's restaurant?
Dude, we walked there. It's like a block or two away, a couple blocks away. It was like a short walk right
Oh,
after that beautiful dinner we had. It was an amazing dinner. First thing, okay, wait. We get there and we're like, okay, I think this is it right here. We get there by train, which is another side tangent. I love the train now. The trains are so much better there. It's like New
oh.
York, but even better than New York because it's like you could get to the whole country by train. It's amazing.
Lisa and I want to do a train trip from LA up to Portland and do the
Oh,
coast.
I'm
We're,
like, I want to get
yeah.
into train travel a bit more. I know it's harder in the US. Um,
Yeah.
But we got off the train, we walked to Peter's restaurant. So it's kind of a long day or not a long day, but a little bit of a travel because it was like the first day basically being from the plane ride the night before. We got a hotel, and so that yeah, it was like our first day. We got off the train, kind of tired and weary, basically, is what I'm trying to paint the picture as. And then we get to Peter's restaurant. There's a door guy that is it's like a hotel, prim and proper English guy. And
Wow. Wow.
immediately, like cool black English dude that has like really nice clothes on, opens the door for us. How you doing today? Absolutely great to see. Like very, very nice. Like getting into how our day was. Oh, the travels. No, not the travels. Well, you're here now. And like just like totally spun us around like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, nice to be here. And then we get to
Yeah.
the desk and I go, okay, yeah, name is under Alex Yardley. Name is for Alex Yardley. Is the last name. And they go, okay, Alex Yardley. Peter's friend. Yes. Yes, for Peter. They are for Peter. Yes, okay, great. And then and we were treated like family, dude. The guy
That's
walks us out and
incredible.
he goes, okay, and so you know Peter? I go, we grew up with him back in the States. He goes, get it. No. Okay. Okay. We get a corner seat, like a corner
Oh,
seat, the window. It looks over the river, and the Thames River. It looks over the Thames River, and then it looks out into the rest of this beautiful restaurant. He really undersold it. I was asking if
yeah.
they're like close to a Michelin star because this place was fancy as shit. It was like
Yeah.
really nice. Artwork was really like very tasteful artwork. This is
Yeah.
like looks like in a gallery. The staff was amazing. There's a in-house sommelier picking the wine. Spicer's picking the wine for him. I didn't tell them ahead of time so that they would just get everything, but I paid for the whole thing. So I because it was like I wanted to do it, and it was like
Yeah.
Peter. It was so I wanted to do it for them, but I didn't tell them that. So Spicer's with the sommelier picking the wine, and I was like, oh boy, what's he doing? What's he doing? What wines you gonna pick? And then Peter sends out 4 appetizers for us just on the house, and just amazing, like really, really nice, like because it's right on the river there. So the seafood is amazing. There's like prawns and ceviche, and there was this bone marrow that came in the bone, melted in the middle. It 2 bone marrows like that were filled with it, and then 2 pieces of really nicely done toast, like crisp toast. So you scoop on, you put that on, and then in this
What is
bowl,
it that's in the bone? What's in the bone?
bone marrow is like think of like rendered fat, like
Mm,
really, really rich rendered fat that comes off of from melting basically off of the bone. So it's really,
mm.
really rich part of the fat. So that was used basically almost like when it's prepared like
Butter?
this, think of it as like a butter or like a jam
Yeah.
consistency,
Wow.
but it's rich, savory rendered fat. Um,
Yeah.
and then in that was like a pork loin,
So I guess
super
only
rich
you, Mom and Spice, were having
for
this, it
that one.
sounds
Yeah,
like.
for that one
Yeah.
specifically. Yeah, they eat the
Yeah.
seafood, but for that one, they even tried
Yeah.
it because they were like, "That looks amazing." They did try. They had a couple cheats on the trip where
Yeah.
scoop it out and then you spread it. That one, it didn't look great in the pictures, but it tasted fucking
Yeah.
amazing. I all of the shit that was in it, I don't even remember. It was the shit he was doing blew us away. There was one like dessert. It looked like a terrarium, dude, because it was like a glass, and in it was like a little sponge cake, and like in it was like a little was in like a tiny, and this was on a custard bed, and then it looked like a little mini um ecosystem with like a
What?
plantain chip, like wavy, the way they, I don't know how he cut it, and then the oven, the way that he hardened the plantain chip. I don't even know how they do some of this stuff. It was a great meal. Anyway, it was a great meal, and then he sent us 4 desserts as well. So we just paid for
Yeah.
entrees and wine, and whatever drinks we got. And the guys were treating us. Peter comes out and was talking to us. We walked upstairs and saw the whole place, and then immediately after that amazing meal, um, I think the pastry chef, sidebar, single Alex here. The pastry chef, she was this girl. She had like tattoos and stuff. She was just happened to be eating in with her friends that day, so she wasn't working. But she was
Mm.
out. Mom was going to the bathroom, and same with Spice was like. So I go out, and so Peter told us that. And he goes, "Oh, you let her know you love the desserts." And so I just happened to catch her outside. Her and a friend, I don't know, cigarette break or what they were doing. And I go, "Oh, you the pastry chef?" She goes, "Yeah, yeah." Desserts blew us away. Just blew us away. She goes, "Who are you?" I go, "Oh, Peter's friend, from the U.S., from the States." She goes, "Lovely to meet you." And like, it's a brief little moment, but I didn't,
Yeah.
we were only there for like a night or whatever. But I was like, I might have, there was something there. But then right after that, so I was waiting outside with the door guy, talking to the door guy, and then we walked to the Richmond, uh, the uh,
The
the
bar,
Ted Lasso bar.
yeah,
Yeah,
what was, I don't know, I remember the name,
it's
but the
called
pictures are
Lion's Head.
awesome.
Lion's Head is
Right.
the actual name of the bar. But they have the stuff from the signed photos and some where the scenes were shot and whatever. Um, but that was an amazing night. That was just my first night there, dude. I don't know how long we want to talk about our trips, but that was just one night. I had I
Oh,
had a bunch of great time in
oh
Italy.
my gosh.
I guess the other kind of memorable thing, Italy was a lot of like we went to Lucca and just like walked around, dude. It's like really, really beautiful, like close,
In
very old
that,
buildings.
it's in that wall, correct? Like that medieval wall,
It was
right?
so cool the way they do the walls, medieval wall. So think of like the history of walls and everything, um, where there's all of that.
What a funny sentence. Think of the history of walls.
I guess I mean, I guess I mean
I do know what you mean. Just hearing
how
the
it's almost like a
sentence is so
museum. How it's almost like a museum
yeah.
to see it, basically, and the
Yeah, and like
history
to think
of
about
it.
like why it was up. Yeah, like
Hmm.
because of
And you can
what
see
was
where the
going on.
old cannons were. You can walk below it in
Yeah,
the bowels of it, where it was like a dungeon, and there was also
yeah.
the walls. So that's all on the bottom, right? So there's that part of it where that's where I meant like, so that's usually standard with walls. The unique part about this Lucca wall was on the top. They cultivated all these trees and all of these walking paths. It looks like
Whoa.
a Central Park. It looks like you're walking through Central Park. There are restaurants. The walls are wide enough where you can walk down and everybody walks around. It's probably 2 miles around. So think of
Yeah.
just a really elevated walking path with all these trees, a couple, maybe one or two restaurants along there as well, and just great views. So everybody is walking, is running. I went for a
Whoa.
run on it. It was amazing. So that was like
Oh.
the difference. Where it was like traditional walls, but on this one, it was like
Whoa.
also made into like a city. Um, I don't know how do I say this? Like the same way a park is useful for a city for
City
public
planning.
spaces. Yeah,
Yeah.
the city
Sure.
planning. Yeah, they like built on top of it, and they made cars illegal for it, so that it's just a walking path that you can basically. I would walk around all of it. I go for walks throughout the day, walk around it, almost use it like you'd use like the Newtown bypass. You know how like you like go around and then you find a
Yeah.
spot to go into. So like the same way
Yeah.
you use a bypass highway, but on your feet. You're like I'd like walk around and then get into the certain part of Lucca that I wanted to. Um, there was this
Yeah.
one tower. Mom was telling me there'd be a tower made by a rich, wealthy family. And it was like a pissing contest where another wealthy family would want a higher tower within the walls. And then so there's all these towers along, and this one that you can go and visit that we
Is
saw
this inside the wall, you're saying?
inside the walls. Yeah. So this
Yeah.
is like one of the kind of wealthy families' estates that has a tower. And then this
Right.
tower is really high. Then this tower is higher. And there's like a
Yeah.
pissing contest. They're literally
Yeah.
erecting phallic things in there. So it's like really but this one had trees on the top. So this was like 10 stories high. They have even
Wow.
little like figurines where there's like 4 or 5 like olive trees on the top of this 10-story tower. So it's like it's really, really cool. I got some cool videos of that too. That was a cool place. I felt like I was in fucking Assassin's Creed, where you'd go on the
Nice.
top and
Yeah.
you'd sync up the whole map and you'd see everything.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and that was I would work from like 3 p.m. until like 11 or 12 o'clock at night. And so in the morning, I would walk around, a lot of cafes. Dude, I one day I I I walked around. I don't know why in my head I had like I wanna be at a cafe in a piazza smoking a cigarette, and I just wanna I bought a pack of cigarettes just to smoke. They're like half ones. I smoked two, basically the equivalent of one cigarette, but they were two half ones basically. And I'm smoking a cigarette. I have two beers. I got two beers, and I'm listening to this woman sing in this piazza, and it's like echoing. And then she's amazing. I have a video of that too. She's like
Yeah.
echoing, and I'm like, "Oh, this is it. I'm fucking doing it." Smoking a cigarette. I'm watching this little kid on a bike and his family. I'm watching all these tourists go by. It was between two main roads walking past. So there's a lot of foot traffic and people
Traffic.
watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. So I did that. Then I threw the pack of cigarettes away because I'm like, I don't want this to be a habit. I don't want. I checked it off the bucket list, but I'm like, I don't want
Yeah.
to do this
That's
anymore.
so funny.
Did that.
Oh my God.
So that was kind of like the days, and then the last like kind of big thing we did. Well, like we did a couple different things. We did a pasta cooking class, but this wasn't like we all get together and do it with a bunch of strangers. It was this woman that mom found. I guess these local expats, ex-Americans that live there, had recommended it to her. This was a little Nona, a local woman, a local grandmother that lived a little outside of Lucca. and she had been on cooking shows, and she had been on a couple travel shows, basically, that she now has a home cooking experience where her husband comes and picks us up in Lucca. He drives us to their little like farm. I have all the pictures. I could show you this. This man wants to be a cowboy more than anything in his life. So he's an Italian cowboy. He wants to be an American cowboy. What I think is he's afraid to travel because he kept saying, I can't leave my horses. Dude, just go to the States. His whole house is covered in like like Native American stuff, like the Indians, and cowboy stuff all over the place. We pull into the farm. He's got 2 horses, and he goes, "Hello, horses!" Hello, he's like greeting the horses. The horses come by. He's got 1 donkey. The donkey comes in as we're driving into his place, and he's got a little dog that comes out, a little outdoor dog that comes up. He goes, hey buddy, hey buddy. He says hi to them. Just as we're driving into the place, we get out of the car. The dog kind of walks us into. Then we see all of the longhorn, taxidermy stuff. Because this guy, literally every inch of the wall is covered in American license plates that Americans that have done this send to him. He's never left. Dude, it's covered. At one point, we're in between learning how to cook pasta and everything. At one point, he's got 1967 Marlon Brando movie on, an old Western, and he's pointing out to us how much he loves this one scene. He goes, oh, these guys, and he was so happy when Mom and Spice said that they also have horses. He freaked out. He was so excited because he was so excited to show us all of this stuff. He's got they're all the turquoise rings and everything. He's got the little vest. And that's just him. So that's a whole nother thing. Then there's a translator that it translates for us. And then this little Nona that she just speaks in Italian the whole time and teaches us how to do it. And then we get in the kitchen to make pasta. They have their grandson. We all have on these glasses. I took a picture of all of us in glasses, me, the Nona, and the little grandson. She's cooking with him. He's kind of cooking with us. He doesn't speak a lick of English. She didn't speak a lick of English. She understood and she knew, but she didn't really speak it, but the translator would help us out. She goes, you know. But we cooked pasta. We let it rest for a while. We cooked the sauce, tasted the sauce. It was all either on the farm or their neighbors and stuff, like the butcher, the local butcher, whatever. We made bruschetta. We made all this stuff, and then had this amazing meal. And just looked around, just talked to these people, asked them questions with the translator and everything. Dude, it was 5 hours from the time we got there until we eventually left. It was exhausting by the end because it was a lot of just your social battery, you know what I mean, of just trying to understand what they're saying and talking to them and everything. But dude, it was a time and a half. Here, I'm gonna send you all the little
that's awesome. That is wild. So you're going. How was the pasta? I mean, what did you make? What kind of pasta?
So in Lucca, there's this one style. What I've noticed is it's regional in Italy, or what they told me. I mean, was it's regional in Italy. So I sent you a bunch of photos here. It's regional in Italy. So this one was not macaroni, tuccone. That's how I remember how to say it. Tuccone. So this is a little square, basically 3 fingers, she said. So it's funny because mine were much bigger than Mom's because my fingers are much bigger. But it was 3 fingers by 3 fingers. So we cut it and we kind of rolled out the cut. So it's 3 by 3 little squares that it came out to. It was called tuccone, was sort of kind of unique to Lucca, Italy, was the type of pasta we made. And Spice, I guess Mom had emailed ahead of time that they were vegetarian. She just, I think, forgot the email or didn't. We made a meat sauce. And she was like, this meat is so good. Try it. You could eat it raw. Here, try it. Try it raw. And they were like, okay. And I was just laughing all right. They're going to eat it. Because they're
what a trip for them.
I think afterwards, mom, her stomach like couldn't like when we got home like the next day. She's like, I think my stomach's figuring out how to digest this meat. I haven't eaten that much meat in in a
Yeah,
while because it was like they had
years.
bruschetta and what am I saying? Oh my god, bruschetta or so. What am I saying? Bruschetto? What am I? No. Prosciutto. I'm forgetting how to say it. Um,
Cured meat? Like the
Cured
cured
meat.
meat you're saying?
Yeah. A lot of cured meat that they couldn't eat. That
Nice.
they were like, we'll eat just in case, just to be nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
nice.
so that was great.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Yeah, that's incredible.
Wild
I thought for
experience. Yeah.
there was a moment I thought you were gonna play chess on the that was what I would probably do instead of the cigarettes for
Oh, I did.
the little cafe. You did? Okay,
Yeah, I did. I
cool.
played a lot of
Nice.
chess. I probably played you. I probably played you back in some of the games.
Nice.
There was a lot
Yeah.
of dude, a lot of coffees, a lot of cappuccinos. I drank a lot of cappuccinos in cafes, and
I
uh,
bet. I
and it was
bet.
pretty rad. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, and I'm assuming tons of wine, right? You had to have had a bunch of wine, right?
Yeah, so I made my exception the whole trip basically because I'm like I can't
There you go.
not. It was it was like with each meal almost. We went to Florence just for a day, but dude, Florence is where the statue of David initially was. So we saw from Civilization, dude. Uh Uvisi, Uvisi, the gallery that has all of the like Michelangelo. It was
Mm,
Galileo statues. Um, who else? Oh, Machiavelli. There are all these different statues that we
wow.
saw um, of these guys, and then where it wasn't the statue of David because that's in a separate museum, but it was an exact replica where the statue of David used to be, like where it was.
Right.
So they have an exact replica there, and dude, the statues there are just insane. The sculptures are just nuts, and Florence is just incredible. We saw Duomo, which is the dome, the largest dome cathedral. And dude, that's the other thing is most of the trip was I have so many pictures of amazing Renaissance art and churches. So many churches. We saw
Mm, I
just
bet.
a lot of churches with the architecture of them. Dude, they're fucking crazy to be in. They're like in crazy architecture, the stained glass and the attention to detail with all of that, and then also the artwork within all of the churches was just nuts. Was pretty breathtaking.
You
It's not
gotta you gotta see that Instagram I sent you of the guy rapping about the
the
it's basically
architecture.
like a dish
Yeah.
it's like a diss track to modern architecture
Hmm.
is how I would describe it.
Yeah.
But it's very you'll appreciate
Yeah.
it if that's what you're looking at.
And Florence, the last thing I'll say, I'm trying to remember everything, but the last thing was, dude, the buskers. Speaking of like rap, the buskers is like classic opera in between
Yeah.
historic churches that echoes. And so it's like two historic walls that are built in like the 1500s, and he's doing an opera in between them, and so it's bouncing off, the sound is echoing, and he's
Yeah.
like he seemed world renowned. He's probably just some local dude doing on the street. He's fucking amazing opera singer. And then
Yeah.
another guy is playing. There's these two girls playing the cello and the violin. So completely different type of buskers in Florence.
Yeah.
Completely different. All classical.
That's oh my gosh. That's awesome. That's crazy.
Mhm.
Wow.
There was this younger two girls that they did Daft Punk. We're up all night
Oh,
to get lucky. We're up
yeah,
all
yeah,
night
yeah.
to get lucky. It must have
That's
been
funny.
like their students or something because there was a whole crowd around them singing the song while they played violin and cello to it. Daft Punk,
Oh
and
my God.
that was a pretty cool experience. It felt like a flash mob kind of. It was.
Yeah.
I got a video of that too. Um, but pretty incredible, pretty wild, just walking around. Honestly, the pictures are more than anything. It was mainly a lot of walking around. I didn't put on any weight and I ate a lot of pasta and I ate a lot of food
Mm,
and drank a lot of wine and everything, like with dinner. Um, but I walked around so much. The streets are so
mm,
small. There's hardly
mm.
any cars, and all the cars are pretty small. Um,
Yeah,
and there's a lot of bikes and Vespas and mopeds because the streets are just mainly people walking and then one car trying to get by, basically.
yeah,
Um, so it was pretty awesome to just be able to walk everywhere. Um, pretty rad. Um, to not have to get in the car and not even worry about it. And then if we did, we got in the train. If we had to go long distances, so you don't actually have to drive a motor vehicle. It was very relaxing. You don't have to
yeah,
the tension of having to drive. I was like, holy shit, this is much nicer to just look at my phone on the train or look at the beautiful landscape of basically Tuscany, because that's the
yeah,
Lucca region is Tuscany. Um,
yeah.
so it's beautiful. That's why I'm a train guy now. That- yeah.
God, I wish it's so. I'm so jealous of like finding a place that has that kind of infrastructure is just, I guess, so rare, right? I mean, it's like it makes much more sense for the time period because there are no cars, so they're not the cities aren't built with that in mind. So it's just kind of like those are like an exterior thing that happened to come along later, whereas like U.S. cities are primarily built with like cars, especially the West Coast. I feel like is just they're so sparse and spread out. um, it's much more difficult to get around on foot or whatever. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Honestly, what I noticed is like the big difference. I feel like with the American diet, and then the difference is like the highly processed stuff to get it to larger groups of people and for it to keep well over the long distances. Because it's smaller and the food is closer and everybody's walking around. We pay extra for organic, but that's just regular food over there. Is like the
Right.
organic food. Um, and so the food, it's like the same stuff that we would call unhealthy here. Like the pasta, for instance, the little Nona, the cooking class, they told us to use not the 00 um, flour, but use just the one, which is less processed, more like a heavier, less processed flour. She said
Mm.
that'll make it much easier. You won't feel as bloated. You won't feel as bad. And so it was a lot more like just like organic food or just natural food that was made, I think, just locally, just because that's what they have. Um, and walking around, and everybody just was, it just seemed healthier, I guess, because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. That is so that's I'm so jealous. I feel like we gotta do a trip.
I would love to.
I know I'm actually going uh with mom to the embassy for the citizenship
Yeah,
coming up here.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that'll all kind of go through and process the end of the month actually, which will be kind of fun. But man, oh my gosh, that's just crazy. So fun. So fun. I don't think I realized how big the tower and the walls were with like trees and everything on top. Sounds like I can't get that out of my head. That sounds so cool.
Yeah, and like I said, it felt like I was walking through Central Park because it was like the main kind of common public area that everybody walked in at and got their like nature basically. Um,
Mm,
was on the top there. Um, and it was awesome. I went for a run too along that wall, which is pretty rad. There's a lot of runners on there at certain times of day. Uh, and then and then the bar scene too. The bar scene is much different as well, where it just the hours are different. Like dinner starts later, everything kind of starts later, it seems like,
mm.
and wakes up later. But that would be great to do a trip with all of us. Have some fun stories there. But dude, how was? I mean, I know it was a lot, but dude, how was Hawaii, man? I've never been to Hawaii, dude.
Oh my
What was
gosh.
that like? Obviously, we got the helicopter. I know you know that, but were you doing a lot of relaxing? You did some snorkeling. You said. What was that like?
Yeah, it was crazy. I kind of mentioned the flight in already. We kind of had the touchdown and then we kind of pulled back up and then landed eventually. But it's so funny because as soon as you get there, just in the airport, there are chickens and roosters just like walking around. It's
Yeah.
like, do you remember we played Sea of Thieves with Tyler? and we'd be on just like deserted islands. We're pretending to be pirates in a video game, and there's just there's just chickens roaming around. It's very much like that. We're just like
Yeah.
we Lisa made a joke of like we have to count how many chickens, and I was like, oh, okay. Like she's been there and I have not, and so honestly, like even before we left the airport and got the rental car, like we had seen 12 chickens. Like,
Yeah. Are they just
and
wild? Are they just wild chickens
yeah,
or?
I guess they're just all over the place. And I must have said, I wonder why it's crossing the road like 50 times throughout the trip. So of course that happened. Um, we got a great recommendation from the shuttle driver to the rental car. He gave us this awesome rental of like a bar and restaurant that was where these turtles got beached at sunset. And
Mm.
so we took that recommendation, and then later in the week we ended up checking it out. But one of our first nights we ended up watching, because we were on Kauai. It was that's where they filmed Jurassic Park.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so we watched Jurassic Park our first night, which was amazing. It was so fun because 93 or 92 maybe. It's the original one, and the opening shot. I mean, like they have the preamble, but the opening shot of the Jurassic Park itself is the helicopter coming in, and the big thing is the coast. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name of the coastline, but it's basically like these massive like cliffs that go right up into the ocean, and you have caves underneath. Um, and that's kind of where the helicopter flies in the beginning of the movie, and then they land and there's this massive waterfall, and it all is it's very lush. Kauai specifically is very lush green. Like it was a it's the oldest island, so it's the oldest one there, and it was a volcano that erupted and is now dormant. And so the crazy thing was, in the helicopter we end up flying into what was the dormant volcano. And
Mm.
so it's apparently one of the most, like, there's so much moisture, and there's a reason there's so much rain is because it's dormant and there's all of this lush green around it, and it there's a ton of water that's retained. So even flying in, it was so crazy. We had no doors on our helicopter. Um, and so even just feeling the humidity, you could just feel how wet it all was in this dormant volcano. Um,
Did you did you go near
and
it? Like pretty close to it in the
we
helicopter or?
flew into it. And we were
What?
in it.
Oh
Yeah.
my
So there's a video.
God.
Yeah, the videos
Oh,
don't do it justice. But and so that's what I'm saying. It's so the moisture is crazy because you're in this contained area.
blowing my mind right now, dude.
Yeah, it kind of opened up though. So like picture the volcano is like this bowl, but like one side kind of broke and there's like a
Wow.
spill. So
Yeah,
that's kind
yeah,
of like you
yeah.
go into that and you can see kind of like where it was. And then you kind of go out, and then there's this massive canyon where you can just see, like, basically it just flowed down into the shoreline. So it's like, oh, and it's the whole island. So it's just nuts. They have that, I mean, that was the coolest part, was the helicopter, and like having no doors, and like just seeing that was crazy. Watching Jurassic Park, and then you understand why it was a good location to pick, because it's so wet. It's almost like a tropical, it is like a tropical rainforest. Um, so you can understand, like, seeing like a dinosaur in that atmosphere, like in that, would
Yeah.
be really cool. Um, and so that was really, really fun. You could see the inspiration behind it. And then we also did a boat. Um, so we watched Jurassic Park the first night, and then we did kind of like a beach day. We had this awesome part in the like our room opened up. There's a fountain, and then we had a cool pool, and it's right along the beach. So we set up camp on the chairs that were in between the pool, the swim up bar, and then the ocean was on the other side. and so we were just
Oh,
in between.
hell
Um,
yeah. Was it
and
that
so we kind
sounds
of just,
was it just really relaxing? That sounds very
oh yeah, it
relaxing.
was. We tried to do like every other day was like one was like a super active day, and then the next day was completely lazy, and then
That's a
a super
great
active
plan.
day, and
Yeah.
then like really lazy. So we did like one of the active days was this hike, drove across, and it was awesome because when I was looking things up, one of the things that keeps coming up is like shaved ice is a big deal. Like for whatever reason, it's just like a local dessert type thing or whatever. And one of the things that came up when I was looking was like JoJo's shaved ice. And it said like get the macadamia nut with ice cream, and it's basically like a gelato, from Rita's. Um, but we're driving to this hike, and we're just going through this small little town, and I just look over and I was like, it's JoJo's. It's just this hole in the wall that we just happened to stumble upon. And I was like, holy shit, like that's the one I was recommended. Um, so we did the hike, and it was awesome. You could see the whole canyon. Um, it was very wet. We brought our hiking poles that we had.
Hmm.
So we had the heavy duty. And then we went to a waterfall and brought our bathing suits and jumped in the water and stuff.
How
Um,
high was that? What was the jump?
Honestly, it was a little bit underwhelming. I think, like it was a very accessible hike, so the waterfall
Mhm,
wasn't too crazy. Some
mhm.
of the really big waterfalls, it would take like multiple hours of hiking,
Oh, I see.
um,
Yeah.
and this was more of like it's probably like 3-ish hours round trip or something like that. It wasn't anything like super long, but it was pretty good. And so, but it was really, really cool. You could kind of see this huge canyon into like the whole island. So that was really fun. It was like you're hiking through like a rainforest. So you're kind of
Yeah.
hiking through the rainforest. And then we got the shaved ice on the way back. That was pretty great. That was very fun. And then we did a boat day, which was we go out on the water. We ended up seeing dolphin pods. So there was like a pod of like 100. I guess they call a pod. It's kind of like a school of fish. There's like a
Yep, yep. Yeah.
hundred or so, and I'm just puking my brains out with the seasickness
Oh,
in the back.
how many people are on the boat? Like, is it a big boat, little boat?
It was probably like 25-ish, 30 people or so,
Hmm.
with the captain, but it was wild because they have massive waves. I mean, I understand why Hawaii is known for surfing. It's just like you just have these massive waves crashing all along it, and like it kind of blew my mind because at one point they were like on the one western side, they were like these waves come from like Japan or something crazy.
Yeah.
It's like that's like the size of the Pacific. I can't really like comprehend like a wave
Was it scary in
traveling
the
that.
boat that you're going over these waves? Like, was it scary?
Luckily, we had a decent day. Like when you're going at speed pretty quickly, I was fine because you're kind of like blowing through and you're kind of like riding over it. And like he was pretty good about navigating it. But then once you're still and like watching dolphins, you're just bobbing a lot. And
Mm,
so that's when my stomach just was not agreeing. Um, and it was crazy too because they have these caves. So he went into some of the caves, but what the waves look like in a cave is just the water going up and down in the
yeah.
cave. It's just filling up and going down. So like at one point we were like kind of sketched out because we're like, holy shit, we're gonna like hit our heads or something or whatever. But the guy's like, yeah, we're fine, we're good or whatever. Um, very casual, like, okay, I hope so. And then we ended up anchoring and hung by a coral reef, and we got to go snorkeling. So we did snorkeling then,
Mm.
and that was very fun.
See
I
some
because I
cool
wasn't
fish or coral
yeah, it
or
was I got my bucket list thing that I wanted, which as soon as we got in, we saw a sea turtle like swimming by, and I was
fin
like, "Oh, I
noggin
was like,
dead.
thank yeah, yeah, exactly. Fan noggin did." But yeah, so that was great. We did that. We ate a ton of poke, a lot of poke, like a poke balls,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, like fresh fish, and ate a ton of those.
A lot of
So we
fruit.
did a bunch of that.
A lot
What's
of
that?
fruit. A lot of fruit
A
or
lot of fruit, papaya, pineapple. Yeah, lots of fruit. And then we had this thing, they call it a loco moco or moco loco, and it's like a um you go it's like a comfort food basically, but it's a bed of rice, then you do like a beef patty, and then you do a like over easy egg, and then you do a gravy. And
Hmm.
it's you can
Sounds
kind of
great.
eat it whenever, but it's just like this big like protein thing.
Mm-hmm.
um
Sounds
and we
good. What kind of gravy are we talking about? Like, what kind of
It's like
gravy is it?
it's almost like a beef gravy, I guess,
Mm.
like a brown sauce. It was pretty good, but it's just kind of like a comfort food type thing, kind of like a fish and chips. You know what I mean? Where it's just kind of like you just kind of have it like a bunch of hole in the wall spots, or like have like some of the best stuff of it. Um, so I'd never heard of it, but I had it. That was pretty good. Um, the kicker that we had is some of that cool spot that the guy recommended to us was really really fun. We ended up doing the hike. We got the shaved ice. We went back to the hotel. We shower and then we go out to dinner. And this spot was it worked out beautifully. We end up there's a on the drive there. One of the roads has trees that create a tree tunnel. And so there's just a tree tunnel that you drive through. Um, and then you get through
Like,
because it's very
do
rainforesty.
they grow to get like intertwined like that? Is to create that
I'm
tunnel
not sure
or?
because we were driving and I couldn't like stop and
Mhm.
look, but they like cover, like
Yeah,
we've got
right,
some
right.
video of driving through it. So it's really fun. So we go through that, we get to dinner, and we kind of look on the beach and there's like a crowd, and we realize that's where all the turtles are. Um, so we're like, oh my God, that's awesome. But we were kind of late to our dinner reservation. So then we pop over the street um to the restaurant. We're on the second story, and it's kind of like there's like a sports bar kind of vibe. There's like everyone at the bar. Then there's like a row of seats that are kind of like they're watching the game, but they're just kind of eating as well. And then we were along the window overlooking the sunset where we kind of get the ambiance of like some energy going, but it's much more like focused on the beach where we're at. So it was
Yeah,
like a
that's
perfect
nice.
like window seat, second story. We're overlooking the beach. There's a sunset. We got a happy hour, and then we both got like really nice meal. I ended up getting I forget. I think it was some seafood. I think it was a tuna dish. It was a risotto, which was
Mm.
really really good. And then we're super full, a little bit tipsy, and then we just walk out, check out the turtles, and then walk along the beach as the sun is setting.
Oh,
Um,
that's great.
so oh my gosh, yeah, that was really awesome. And then our very last day, I did put this in the doc. I wanted to tell you about. We went to the Hyatt,
Mhm,
and there was a spa. We just did a spa day. It was perfect. It was a super rainy day,
mhm.
and we ended up doing a spa day where we got there and we're just like, okay, we're gonna sit here the whole time and just kind of hang out and do our thing and like just focus on all the amenities while we're here. Like really get our money's worth pretty much. And also it
Sure.
was raining. So it was awesome. They had a full gym where they had a bunch of cool equipment, but the treadmill had settings where first you can stream whatever you want. It's got a little in the corner. It's like a picture in picture. You can see a little track to see how
Mhm.
you're doing, and then it's also got like a fan and stuff. You've also have below. You can select like the treadmill, how hard or soft you want it to be. So like it's either running on sand or running on like concrete. So you could have like a lot of give, or you could have it be like really bouncy. Um, it was awesome. It was the coolest treadmill I've ever been on. So I was just listening to podcasts, running it out, working it out, and then I just took a shower. They had lava rock. They had like a men's side, a women's side, and it's like this big area. They have these open like showers that there's no ceiling. It's just, and it's raining. So it's raining into the shower area. There's lava rock that kind of separates all the showers. Um, and then so you could kind of take a shower there, and then you pop into your towel or your robe, and then you've got the your little slippers. And then
Wait, did it
I walk
actually
over.
rain at the perfect time, or like, do you mean
We ended up having our spa day. We planned it because it was the day that was supposed to rain the whole day. So we're like, all right, well, if we're not going to be going out and doing stuff, we'll do a
right, right?
spa day when it's raining. And so the way this spa was set up, it had a lot of indoor outdoor kind of elements. And so the locker room is kind of indoor, but then the showers, there's just no ceiling. And so it's raining and there's a shower and it's lava rock, which is very cool. And then
Wow,
from there, went in and did the sauna, did like the redwood sauna, and then walk in, got the cold towel that's infused with like cucumber, cucumber
wow,
and like essential oils.
oh
Um,
wow.
you do that, and then you go into the steam room, and then yeah, the steam room after. Same deal. You could just take that in with you, just kind of put it on your face as you're sitting in there. Um, and then you can go out. There's a again no ceiling, and there's a jacuzzi, um, and it's so funny because it's split into men and women's side, and on the guys' side, you've got the jacuzzi, and there's a little like kind of like almost like a little waiting area where they've got tea and coffee and some like cookies or like whatever, and they've also got just college football going. Um, so that's kind of going on. Some of the guys are watching that. And then there's like a shared like mixed sex middle where they've got like a lap pool and they had a cold plunge. Um, so Lisa and I were doing some hot tub and cold plunge back and forth. They
That's why you have
recommend you
such a
do that.
glow about you right now. Is you get a real glow about you, and now it all makes sense. It all makes sense
Oh,
now.
well, it was so we were doing that. We ended up doing that, and then we finish with the thing we got a reservation for was a couples massage with CBD oil. So we did
Nice.
like a couples massage, had the CBD oil, and then we had it was great. Then I would go back into the locker room. I could shave and then do my hair. They had products and like lotion and stuff. And then I changed. I put our bags in the car, and then we walked over to. They had just like it's a Hyatt, so it was just this beautiful dinner. It was called tide pools. So it's a bunch of these small ponds
Hmm.
where they have carp fish swimming, and it
Yeah.
goes like under the restaurant, and you can ask the server for like breadcrumbs or something, and you could throw that to them. But the fish are just used to coming up to all the windows and just seeing and like going around. So we had that going on. Um, we had it was great. We had watched Lisa never saw Forgetting Sarah Marshall on the way.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's Hawaii. So we watched that one night, and it's so funny because he's crying, he lost her, and there's weddings going on, and he just goes like, "Wedding in Hawaii, real original." And like we're there on our honeymoon, and we had just gone to the spa. We're going to dinner, and there's this wedding, and I'm just like, "Wedding in Hawaii,
What?
real
Real
original."
original.
So it was great. I had this stupid Hawaiian shirt on, just like a
You
just
love
the
it.
most
You love
quintessential.
it. You love it.
I
It was like the
loved it. It was
bachelor party.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But it was great. It blended in with the wedding. So I was really close to crashing. I was really close um after dinner to walking over. But yeah, then we had dinner, and anyway, so it was great. We hit a bunch of stuff. It was a lot of like adventurous stuff, but also like really relaxing stuff too. I think Lisa got through like 2 books. I got through a book. Um,
What
yeah, it was
book?
awesome.
What book are you reading?
It's funny. We're very different readers. She loves her like just fantasy and that kind of thing. And I'm just like, like the psychology of money. Like,
Oh, you read
for,
Psychology of Money?
yeah, I'd seen like stuff before, but I like excerpts and I've read like seen like YouTube videos and things. But yeah, so I think I'm like halfway through it now. I had finished
Nice.
another one. Yeah. Um,
I'll have to recommend
but
Intelligent Investor next. It's really
oh, that's a
it's
classic. That's like a
yeah, that
classic.
yeah, exactly. But same, Psychology of Money, and yeah, that was the one I was
Yeah.
kind of doing. I read it on the plane a couple times, and then we did a couple things because well, it's a similar thing where you have like a day where we do an event or something. We do like
Yeah.
Pisa, do the tower, like Leaning Tower as an example.
Yeah.
We did
Yep.
that for a day. Um, and then the next day or two we would kind of chill out, or just
How
like.
far is the Leaning Tower of Pisa to Lucca?
Did I mention that one? Maybe I dropped. I kind of forgot. Maybe I forgot. Didn't mention that. Yeah, Lucca is maybe again trains. Love trains. It was probably a quick Pisa. What was that day? Because we did like a weekend basically, and so we did like a full day in Pisa, which was great. Well, but maybe like a half day because we went back on the train. It was probably maybe like 15-minute train ride. So I don't know how far, but it was 20, maybe 30 minutes because we just went around. Like I remember we went around these little mountains. Lucca is
Mm.
not too far from because it's so north in Italy. There's like a mountain range that you can kind of
Swiss
see.
Alps?
Exactly. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. So yeah, there's a
Yeah.
mountain range, right? A smaller mountain range, and then behind that is the Swiss Alps. Yep. And
Mm.
so um, you kind of go around one of these mountain ranges on this train, and then you get to Pisa. And we walked around, saw there is a couple different structures there. You can kind of see like big art sculptures and installations outside of it. And then Mom and Spice had been there before, so they knew that there's not a lot of foot traffic. Not a lot of people know that there's a restaurant on the second floor of the museum, the museum next to it. And so we
Mm.
go to the second floor and we are looking directly at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And we ate
How
lunch.
cool.
It was awesome. We had like, pasta with, I had like pasta with a little bit of pork in it. So it was like really,
Mm.
really kind of rich, and couple cocktails. And then what I love too with all the meals is they always ask you for coffee afterwards. Do you want espresso,
Mm.
coffee afterwards, a little digestive thing?
Yeah.
So it was great. Did like a cocktail, had some pasta, had a little espresso, drank cappuccino or something, and then walked around Pisa, and then got the train ride back into Lucca that night. And dude, walking up the Leaning Tower. Speaking of like the sickness of the seasickness, um, remember walking up the lighthouse when we were little kids? Remember walking up the
I
lighthouse?
I sure do.
It's the same thing, but because it's the Leaning Tower, it is such a trippy feeling of obviously you're
Mm.
leaning and you just feel they're really small and low and kind of narrow, and there's a lot of tourists going back and forth. So claustrophobic and um um so off balance. Just
Mm.
because it is it's you don't see really too much sunlight, and then you'll see like a big window and be like, holy shit, okay, I'm really offline because you're kind of walking on the hard lean
Yeah.
side and then the uphill
Whoa.
side. So it was really disorienting as you're walking up and down. um,
Whoa.
of like where you are. And we went into the center, and I have a video looking up of like these like hydraulic pumps that they have like to make sure, and kind of like suspension cables to make sure that
Mm.
it's because they had pumped in concrete in the bottom of the foundation at one point, maybe like in like the
Mm.
early 2000s or 90s.
Mm.
But yeah, it was really cool. I didn't realize at the top of the tower, there's a bunch of bells there, like the Liberty
Mm.
Bell, like old historic bells that you can go and you kind of look around. You see all
Now,
the tourists at the bottom doing the picture.
I was just gonna say, did you do the photo? Did you
No, I
do the
didn't. I
photo?
didn't do the photo.
What?
I didn't do it.
Why?
I didn't want
Why?
to. I didn't want to.
What? Are you
There's
out of
so
your
many
mind?
people doing it. I didn't.
Oh my
I
God.
don't need that pic. I
What?
took a bunch of great pictures of it. I took one with the sun in front of it hitting it, one with the sun behind it, so it's all shadow kind of. So I have a bunch of pictures of the tower. One that makes it
Mm,
look straight. Even I like took
mm.
it at an angle, so the tower itself looks straight. Oh, I think I lost you here. Internet connection. Can you hear me, brother? Dang, looks like it's frozen. Oh, you're back. Can you see me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got
Yep.
you.
You froze there for a sec. I don't know if it was me or you, but
Yeah, yeah, you froze too. So I didn't get any pictures of me doing that, but I got a lot of pictures of the tower, even like an angled photo that makes it look like it's straight,
there you go.
like it's
There you
going
go.
straight up.
Nice.
But yeah, none with me doing the thing. No, I didn't do it.
Nice. Oh, and the one thing I forgot is did I send you the pictures of golf? I did one
I
golf
saw,
outing.
I saw through mom showed me in the group chat, like the family group chat.
Right.
I think Lisa was like,
Yeah.
I'm in the cart, and what did she say? I got like a book, and I'm driving the cart or something like that. And it looked
Yeah.
awesome. It looked fucking amazing, dude. It looked awesome.
It was very fun. It was very fun. I did not play very well except for one hole. It was very fun that the cart had the rangefinder, and then we could also order food for the turn. So Lisa was
Oh,
like just doing the
cool.
touch screen for when we got there, and then
Did you play with anybody else?
it was just the two of us for the front nine, and then we had a slow group, and so it kind of got backed up because there was this group of like five in front of us, and then we ended up joining two other older guys, like retired guys, um, which it was okay, but I felt like I started golfing worse because I'm like chatting with them, and I just wasn't. It was like borrowed clubs, but it was very fun. The best. I didn't play that well overall, but the one hole is that it overlooks the ocean and you could see a really cool view behind. And so Lisa and I got a photo. The hole gets kind of backed up because people are taking photos. And it's a really short hole. And so we're waiting for a group, and there's a group building behind us. We're taking pictures, and then finally I'm up, and there's just a bunch of people watching, and you go over the cliff. So
Oh,
you shoot over the water.
how'd it go?
And so thank God it's like probably like 130, 140. And I want to say it was a 7-iron. And just up and over, beautiful shot, and it lands on the green.
Oh, dude, with the
Thank
audience and
God.
everything, good.
Yeah, and they were like, great shot, great shot. But it was kind of brutal because what happened was they were like, oh, great shot. And then we take the picture, and I have a good couple holes after that. We have the turn, we're eating, but then they kind of group us with somebody else to kind of get around the slow group. And then we're kind of rushing our meal because we're now with another group of guys or whatever. And then they think I'm really good now because I had that really great hole.
Yeah.
And so afterwards, it was all downhill because I'm trying to eat and like play this round. But it was great. It was really awesome. There was a ton of cool, like really gorgeous shots or whatever. But anyway, that
Oh.
was the one other activity I didn't mention.
You
That
reminded me, speaking of the 7-iron, so I watch a lot of like shows and stuff with all the travel and whatnot. Do you have Apple TV by chance, or
Yeah.
Apple? Have you seen Stick? Have you watched Stick at all? It's with Owen
Um,
Wilson, and
no, I saw a preview. I
dude,
didn't
you'd love
see
it.
it.
I binged it. It's only one season, and he's like this old over the hill golfer. That's why I brought it up. Is he's this over the hill golfer who had a heyday at one point, but now he's mentoring uh, this young and up and coming kid, and his
Nice.
old caddy is helping him through it, and his old caddy is Mark Maron. And
Oh,
so
nice.
it's Mark
Yeah.
Maron, Owen Wilson, and it's just a great. I just enjoyed the show a lot. It was probably 10 episodes,
Nice.
pretty easy to get through. And
Yeah.
yeah, good watch. And now I'm on to I'm watching. It's called Mythic Quest. Have you heard that
Yes,
one?
I've
Did you watch
finished
it?
it. I'm up to date.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm about to. I'll probably finish it tonight. If I'm not, oh, it's already late. I have like 2 episodes left, so like two 30-minute
Oh,
episodes.
of the newest season or
There's only one season, right, of Mythic Quest, or is there two?
no? There's like 3 or 4.
Really? Oh, you know what? It might be because I just downloaded them because I was gonna watch them on the plane, and so I downloaded maybe just the first season. So I've been looking at downloads. They've only seen the first
Yeah.
season. Maybe that's why.
Um,
Yeah, I'm only on the first season. So 7
fun.
episodes.
That reminds me. I played Catan last night. Settlers of
Ah,
Catan
yeah.
with Chris and then Robbie, another friend, and another guy. The group is so awesome because it's LA. The one guy, Eric, I think you've met him, the bald guy. He worked on Spider-Man 2. He does the shot where the like tentacle guy kind of goes up the tower. Like he did that shot. Um but so he's really cool. But the reason I thought of this is Mythic Quest because the other guy, well, 2 of them, I guess, they do sound design for Diablo, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
they were talking about Hearthstone. Like that's they work for Blizzard. Um, and so, yeah. So they do sound design for Blizzard. And Robbie is like, I think he overlooks a group. And then the other guy is the one that, like, he was showing me. He's the guy that, like, he has one of the funniest stories of, like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months ago, Blizzard did a bunch of layoffs. And a bunch of people got laid off. And
Didn't they just
everyone is
get
freaked.
bought by Microsoft too? So I think they
Yeah,
got
I
bought
think that
by
was
Microsoft, and then Microsoft kind of trimmed the fat, I think. Yeah.
yeah. And so he was there for the meeting after that. So like they had just laid off a bunch of people and they lay them all off and then he is on this like, Zoom meeting and they're just basically like we're so happy with the people here and we're so excited about, our investors and what we're going to bring to shareholder value. And he was
Yeah.
just like, okay. And what's so funny is he does sound design. So he was like, later in the day, I have a really nice microphone and I'm intensely cutting a head of lettuce for like the sound of like a good crunch and he's recording it and he was telling me he's like, yep, for shareholder value, baby. It's
That's
just
so
so
funny.
silly. He's like, there was one point where there's like he went into the desert and they're recording like a flame on like a spinning thing like for like a weapon. He's like, here we go for shareholder value. And he's like, record. So he was very fun to
So that
chat
sounds like
with. But
totally on brand for Mythic Quest, because that's like the whole theme of
yes,
at least
so
the couple episodes here. Yeah.
so I brought Mythic Quest up, and he was like, "Yeah, that's my life, pretty much." Is like being like one of the designers, and yeah,
Tell him I hate the monetization guys because it made
yeah,
Hearthstone horrible.
Abed, Abed from Community,
Yeah, he's the money. Yep. In
yeah,
Mythic Quest, he is. Yeah.
so good. Brother, I think we've really
We've
hit a
done it.
bunch.
We've done
We've
it.
done it. We're
We've done
back,
it yet
baby.
again.
We are back. We're
And I
so
think, dude,
back.
honestly, I think there's so many things I haven't told you that I'll probably remember later on.
I know. I almost
So
forgot about the golf thing. It kind of just popped in my head. But
I almost forgot about telling you about
there's
the
a
Leaning
bunch of
Tower
other
of
stuff.
Pisa. So that's
Crazy. All right, brother. Well, this is a great one. I think we did a bunch. We
we
chatted
did it.
ball.
I think we
We
chatted
got the
some
tea
ball,
bags
hmm
locked and loaded.
and we got to travel. got a lot of travel stuff. I'll send you more pictures. Send me all the pictures you got. I'll send you all the ones I got.
Nice. I'll title this episode something like "We're Back," with football in parentheses American.
Back to some American football here, baby.
Yeah, we'll do something like, I don't know. I'll work around. If not, we'll know. All right, brother. Well, that's it.
I love you.
Great chatting. Love you, brother. We're so back.
We are so back, baby. We are so back. We are so back.